Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the day after Scousers lost the Carabao Cup final show. It's a Premier League review show, people. Just kidding. It's a Premier League review show, but we're going to talk about the Carabao Cup final. Yep, Josh, welcome back to the channel. But before I welcome you back, I want to play a video clip.
He's in his element, lads.
Should I just say it? Go on, man. Go ahead. 2-1 Newcastle.
Nostradamus. Hey.
Anyways, people. It's a celebratory stream, isn't it? Or would you like to call it a celebration stream? What's the better word? Celebratory or celebration stream? What's the better word?
Both. I think you'll be enjoying it a lot more.
Sorry?
I think you'll be enjoying it a lot more.
I will. 100%. But how are you, my friend? And let's get started with the show. And yeah, that was class, wasn't it?
Fair enough. Well, I'm getting on all right. It was a pretty good day of football from my perspective as well. Obviously, Arsenal beating Chelsea after Prime bantered me on the last footy stream on here. So good to get my own back on there. Obviously, Man City dropped points as well, which helps our top four charge. Can't wait, Mikel.
Man City dropped points.
Spurs lost.
You're finishing above them, man. That's all good.
Might be. I wouldn't put it past them at this stage. But
Spurs you are.
And obviously, Liverpool lost the Carabao Cup final. Now, me personally, I don't like either. Obviously, I don't mind Liverpool. I've established that through many of the streams. Newcastle, I love the club and I love their fan base and I love their manager, Eddie Howe, brilliant manager. But their players I can't stand. So my ideal situation would be both teams lose, but Newcastle winning was the less worse option, I suppose, as Liverpool are romping to the Premier League title as well. So overall, if Leicester did the job against United, it would have been the perfect weekend, but unfortunately not. And hey, it's still been a pretty good week of football for the both of us.
Fair enough. But let's get started. Obviously, with the football, obviously that happened on the weekend. Obviously, the main talking point is the Scousers losing the Carabao Cup final to Newcastle. Beating Newcastle in cup finals ain't for everyone. It ain't for everyone.
I can include in that.
Yes, you can, because I'm sure Arsenal as well have beaten Newcastle in a cup final.
The year before you did it in '99.
Oh. So Newcastle losing back-to-back finals.
Although 2 of their FA Cups have come from beating us as well. So we take wins with losses.
Hey, but we ain't here to cook Newcastle. We're here to cook Liverpool, even though they're the top of the league and about to win their 20th league title. Let's just forget about that. Let's just give it a day. Let's just be shameless for a day. Yeah, hold that. From quadruple to.
One tuple.
What do you call it? One tuple. One tuple. Hey, Liverpool fans, yeah. You lot talk absolute smack. I'll be honest. But it's the one day I get to be shameless. It's the one day. And to be fair with you, it was a good final. It was end to end at times. I think Newcastle, for me, It's about time. Newcastle went through a lot with Mike Ashley and, the ownership situation. And then, obviously, they made it to the Carabao Cup final against United 2023. But after that, they've just been... They fell off a cliff. They made Champions League. Unluckily lost to PSG in the group stages. Should not have been a loss.
Well, we drew, which was pretty much lost.
You can pretty much say it's a loss because they didn't... They would have gone through, but... The penalty was given, so I say it's a loss, even though it's a draw, and that's what got them to what was it they're out of Europe completely, I think, wasn't it? So,
yeah.
Unfortunately for them, that happened, and then a year later, they make it back to the same final that they lost 2 years ago to us, and guess who they played? Arguably the team that's going to win the Premier League, Liverpool.
Well, definitely.
And yep, Rob. I said that a couple minutes ago. Beating Newcastle in the cup final ain't for everyone, eh? 99? and 23. Listen, bro. I can't lie. I think. Do you know what it is with Newcastle? Like, their fans been through a lot, and it's finally about time that they actually deserve to win something, and they deserved the game on the weekend. It was like Newcastle were on the end of everything. They were the first to everything. They were the first to every tackle. They were the first to every interception. I think there's one man that I really have to give praise to, and it's not often you hear me give credit to this man, which I've hardly ever given credit to. Dan Burn. He's got more finals goals at Wembley than Mo Salah ever has. And Alan Shearer's got a statue. Hey, is it time for Dan Burn to get a statue now?
He's done more than Shearer has. if you look at football from a pure, sport perspective.
Yeah, I think that's the case. But of course, Shearer's a legend. But in the sense that what he's won at Newcastle, I mean, look at what Newcastle done on the weekend, right? That's their first trophy. I forgot to mention that's their first trophy in 70 years. For a club like Newcastle, for a club like Newcastle and the PR around Newcastle, like the sort of history, even though they've not won anything for 70 years, the sort of history around it, right? You can kind of say that's kind of embarrassing that they've just won their first trophy after 7 years. It's not really like it's an amazing achievement. I'm not dissing Newcastle, but the fact that they've won a trophy after 7 years is kind of alarming because look at all the money they've got, and I look at the ownership that they have. They can easily go and win more now. I think it's no excuses for Newcastle. They should now start to aim for the bigger and better trophies now. What do you think?
Well, I completely agree. Obviously, what I love about the likes of the domestic cups, the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, is that it breeds winning. It breeds confidence to go on to bigger and better things. Yeah. And with Newcastle, it was their first domestic trophy in 70 years. Their first major trophy since 1969, I believe, Intercity Spurs Cup final.
70 years ago, was it Newcastle? 70 years.
70 years ago, 1955 was their last domestic cup.
Yeah, that's mental.
And Intercity Spurs Cup in 1969, so they really needed it. We go back 2 years ago. They righted the wrongs, or is righted a word? In other words, they did what they did wrong right this time round from 2 years ago. Against United, they were unlucky with their preparation, with likes of Nick Pope being suspended and whatnot. They had similar issues here with Anthony Gordon, and I think Sven Botman didn't start either. But to a man, they completely dominated Liverpool in terms of duels. Tactically, Liverpool were really uncomfortable with their long balls. That was the worst Liverpool performance in the final I've seen in my lifetime. And that was because Newcastle played so well, and they thoroughly deserve it. Congratulations, their fans deserve it more than anything because their fans
I don't think it was the worst performance that you could see Liverpool in the final, because it's more to. I think you could arguably look at maybe the year that Chelsea. You could maybe argue look at the year that Chelsea got two goals from Lukaku, but VAR ruled it out.
Or that's the thing. Those two domestic cup finals against Chelsea that year, Liverpool were always in the game. Liverpool were always plucking away, and they were always creating chances for themselves. Honestly, they had their only shot of the first half was Diogo Jota. And he completely spliced it wide. Liverpool were awful. But that takes, like I said earlier, that takes no credit away from Newcastle because they were fantastic. They thoroughly deserve it. And like I said earlier, winning breeds confidence, and I won't be surprised if they go on to win more trophies down the line, even with the PSR troubles they're only saying.
I think, what? If they were still in the FA Cup, I reckon they could have won it, I reckon that this Carabao Cup would have driven Newcastle on to win the FA Cup, 100%. Because I know they lost to Brighton, and I know they were kind of unlucky, but I know this Newcastle team has so much talent. Go look at the likes of Anthony Gordon. Even though he didn't play in the final, Gordon, you got Alexander Isak, right? Who I touted for United to sign the year 2022. I said United need to sign Isak. This guy is going to be a baller. Came to Newcastle, bro's bagging like 20 plus goals a year, right? Sandro Tonali, who I rate so highly, I watched him in his title run with AC Milan.
Bro,
That's another player.
Tonali, Chelsea won the Champions League in 2021. The
Yep.
midfielders I wanted that summer were Sandro Tonali and Manuel Locatelli. I told people going into the Euros that summer that Locatelli's a baller. And then after the Euros, people saw how good this guy is, bro.
The year Italy won the Euros as well.
Yes, I wanted the two of them. Tonali, lo and behold, one of the best midfielders in the league. Now I have
Fantastic.
Enzo, who is just
Bro.
How poor Enzo is off the ball. Tonali's a beast, man. Fucking hell.
I would love Tonali in our midfield as well. Oh my.
I'm sure some of you guys know about the fact that I like AC Milan as well in Serie A, right? How have AC Milan decided to let this guy go, man? It's crazy.
PSR, like,
it's criminal.
Yeah, they had money problem. People don't know that the Serie A don't have money like that.
They don't. They're broke as fuck. Like, I can't lie. Like, they need to sell players. It's insane.
That's why they always they're always buying like Premier League rejects and stuff for cheap.
Milan have Loftus-Cheek, who's actually playing quite well for them. Even Pulisic is doing really well right now. McTominay is playing well for Napoli. You know, who was the other guy that played for Napoli? I forgot his name. I think he came from. Is it not Lyndon Dykes? Is it? It's not Lyndon Dykes. What's his name again? He came from Scotland, I think.
Billy Gilmore.
No, not Billy Gilmore. There's another one. There's another guy that came from I think from the Premier League. I forgot his name, but I think they signed him last summer.
It is Billy Gilmore.
Billy Gilmore, right?
Yeah.
But no, it's Harrison. Jack Harrison, I think he plays in Serie A now.
No, he plays for Everton.
Not for Napoli.
Really?
Not for Napoli. Billy Gilmore. They signed him from Brighton. Billy Gilmore.
Yeah, they signed him from Brighton.
Last summer. Yeah, it's Billy Gilmore.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Billy Gilmore at Chelsea.
Because I'm forgetting that they signed someone as well from the British leagues. I forgot what it was called. I forgot who he was called.
Billy Gilmore and Scott McTominay, bro.
Wow, crazy. No, I know Scott McTominay because I mentioned his name already, but yeah, it's mad, man. Scott McTominay is Billing. Thank you. Yes, Billing.
Billing. He's not British.
Where's he from?
He came from Bournemouth, didn't he? That's what you meant, Akavin, wasn't it?
Yeah, he played for Bournemouth. Yeah, Billing. Thank you.
Oh, he meant from Bournemouth. Yeah.
My pal always comes to the clutch with the facts, man. Big up. He always comes to the clutch. Yeah. Billing. But the fact that Billing is now in the Serie A, it just like Prime alluded,
Philip Billing. Yeah, he's Danish.
Yeah. Oh, okay, my bad. But like Prime alluded to, it just tells you Serie A doesn't have that rich dough like most clubs do like in Europe. That's why they can't afford to keep players. But the fact that still they let go of a player like Tonali is bad. Because he's a top player with Milan. They just won the league with Milan. He just won the league with Milan. I think a year later or two he left, and that kind of just tells you that okay, the money is not there. They really need to invest they need an owner that can come in. These clubs need some owners that they actually come in and probably put some good money into the club.
I think it's a television thing more than anything.
You're kind of right, because beIN Sports actually just removed Serie A as well.
Like, they make hardly any money from television deals and whatnot,
and
they don't capitalize on that.
Because the thing with Serie A for me this year, I think if you look at how tight everything is, along with La Liga, Serie A is the second best in terms of competitiveness right now. This season, you've got to give Serie A the props. It's literally a 3-horse title race between Atalanta, Napoli, and Inter. Three teams. It was actually 4 or 5 at one point as well early in the year. It was like 5 teams could literally reach the top, and then I don't know. I think Juve fell off. They lost a few games. They were unbeaten for majority of the season, and then they lost a few games, and then that's when they fell off. Who else? I was Lazio. Lazio at one point. I think they were doing okay. I can't remember. Even Fiorentina was doing okay at some point. But then it just tells you everything you need to know, that there's no consistency in some of these clubs as well. But the top of the league is looking good. Same with La Liga, but then you have the Premier League. But
Well, you say that, but it was a 3-way title race last year as well. So
it was
obviously it depends between seasons.
It was Inter. It was Milan. Milan were not in the title race.
I'm on about the Premier League as well.
Premier League.
Like
Premier
if
League.
we're comparing them,
Premier League. But there was always going to be one winner. But the thing is, we could all read who's going. We could all think who's going to win the league. Come on, we could all
last year actually.
I thought it was going to be Arsenal, because towards the end of the year, I was like, okay, if Arsenal going on this really good run right now, surely they got to clutch it up now. They surely got to clutch up now. Yep, La Liga 2 has seven teams, bro. Seven teams. It's literally a 4 or 5 point gap from the top to it's 7th place as well. But yeah, it's mental. It's mental. But back to the Newcastle game, anyways. The fact that they've got these players, they got Bruno Guimaraes, Sandro Tonali, Sven Botman, Dan Burn. No disrespect to Dan Burn, but the fact that this guy is doing this at this time of his career, big up to him.
It was Geordie as well.
Yep. And have you seen the timeline of Dan Burn? He's a boyhood Newcastle fan. He got released by the academy. I think he was pushing trolleys at Wetherspoons or something. That I can't remember what it was. Then he worked his way up to the ranks, got signed by Newcastle at the age of 29. Now he's playing at Wembley. Scores at Wembley for Newcastle. Wins their first trophy after 7 years. This is a true boyhood Newcastle fan right here. This is a true boyhood Newcastle fan, and you got to give props to Dan Burn. Then that's what you call a legend right there. If he continues to stay in Newcastle, win more trophies and better trophies, 100% he has to be called a legend for Newcastle. 100%, because there have been great players playing for Newcastle. There's been great players. Michael Owen played for Newcastle. Alan Shearer played for Newcastle, but they've never won a major trophy. So, but this is a step in the right direction for Newcastle, in my opinion, at least now. This has kind of ended all the trophy droughts, all the doubts about whether they can, get over the line of winning cups. But there you go. What we had said, Josh.
No, I was going to say all 11, the entire matchday squad that Newcastle had for the Carabao Cup are all legends for Newcastle Football Club. At the end of the day, when you're ending a 70-year domestic trophy drought, I mean, you've got to be classed as legends. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that Ben Arthur? You had Les Ferdinand,
Johan Kabay.
You can even look at Wijnaldum, Moussa Sissoko,
Johan Kabay.
And like I said, they fully deserve it.
Fabrizio Colocini as well, played for Newcastle. And they had the likes of Jose. I think did Jose Enrique play for Newcastle? I think he did, right? Enrique played for Newcastle at one point in his career. They've had some players, really good players, play for them, and they've not yet. And they were involved in one of the best games that Newcastle have played. I think I was 11 when that game happened as well. The Arsenal Newcastle game. That was a classic game. That was a top game.
No, it wasn't. Besides that, like I said, if we, all credit to Newcastle as well. But like I said, throughout my entire lifetime watching football, that was by far the worst Liverpool performance I've ever seen in a final. I mean, they were completely dominated. They lost every duel. They were just not up for it at all whatsoever. They kept getting done by Newcastle's long ball tactics. And I don't think they had a shot in anger until Curtis Jones, after Newcastle made it 2-0. It was around the 70th minute. I mean, Newcastle were well-worthy winners. Completely and utterly worthy. And Liverpool hardly got out of their half in the first half, from what I remember. bar from a few little bits of possession that went nowhere. And like I said, when you have the quality midfield that Newcastle have, when you have the quality attacking force that Newcastle have, you're always going to be a problem. And even when you don't have Anthony Gordon, you have the likes of Harvey Barnes that can step up and Jacob Murphy. That proper squad depth. Their squad is fantastic. A few little additions in their defence, and I reckon, and a new right winger. And I think they can seriously challenge for league titles. And I'm being 100% serious with that because I really like Eddie Howe as a manager, and I reckon he has more to prove.
The thing is, Newcastle is obviously now in the Premier League, you're competing against PSR, right? Now everyone's competing against PSR in the transfer window. Newcastle might have to sell Isak potentially if they want to get all that. Obviously,
Please,
it sounds crazy to talk about, right? But Newcastle, if they want to get all that money in, which I don't think is, which I think is not, I think is bullshit for me, right? When they get all that money for the transfer window, they have to sell Isak or a player for a hefty fee.
No, I think this is what I told you off camera. PSR, it just completely screws over the smaller clubs that want to compete. I mean, I think the whole point of PSR is to keep the traditional top clubs at the top, while limiting the likes of Newcastle, the likes of Aston Villa, and whoever qualifies for Europe this year, i.e., a Bournemouth or a Fulham. I think it's to counteract the fact that the likes of Chelsea and Man City and PSG have all been taken over and subsequently dominated trophies domestically and European-wise in a few of their cases. But at the end of the day, how are you meant to compete? How the hell are you meant to compete against the established top clubs if you're getting a cap on how much you can spend and if you're forced to sell your best players? It's wrong in my opinion, because like I said, you're just inhibiting them from reaching the top.
Yeah. It's almost as if you need a rich owner to now get back to the top for most clubs.
Even then, with Newcastle, they still comply with PSR rules. At least Man City had the know-how to cleverly manipulate their books and whatnot in order to not get caught and to
balance out their budgets and everything. That they can balance out their budgets. They can balance out, the finances coming in and obviously going out as well with the sales of youth academy players. They've made 500 million in sales over the last 5 years. And if Newcastle want to do the same thing, if Newcastle want to go down the same route of being successful, they're gonna have to try something similar and try and improve the infrastructure, improve improve around the team. Because you mentioned about Liverpool, right? Is it the Champions League hangover? Is it the PSG hangover that you think Liverpool suffered?
I think it's a part of that. Definitely a part of it. When you've got PSG's midfield three passing rings around you for 120 minutes and you're constantly trying to chase the ball.
Top midfield.
That's obviously going to hurt. But I think with Liverpool, there always seems to be this element of complacency or arrogance in a way, as if they can just turn up and steamroll whatever team. And listen, I've done nothing but praise Liverpool all season, but I do feel like the likes of Van Dijk and whatnot do get a bit too arrogant sometimes, which they usually get punished for. So I think there's a bit of arrogance, but mainly when you're going 120 minutes against that PSG side, it's going to take a lot out of you. And I haven't even touched the psychological block that can have on you as well. I mean, because when you're so used to winning every week and then another team outplays you in your own home, it's going to affect you mentally. So I think that was a massive part in Liverpool not winning the Carabao Cup.
How I knew United were going to win the Carabao Cup was we actually played Barcelona before we played the Carabao Cup final. 3 days, and we played a whole 90 minutes plus added time, right? Plus a lengthy extra time, 66 minutes or something, 6 minutes of added time. I was and we played a Carabao Cup final 2 days later. I'm like, yeah, this is only going to drive it. It's only going to lift the team now. We beat Barcelona. Atmosphere is looking great. We're gonna go to Wembley on Sunday, beat Newcastle, and then continue rich vein of form up until that shit happened a week later. But I'm not gonna get into that too much. But Prime, obviously, me and Josh were speaking about Newcastle's model that they have. Obviously, that with the new owners coming in now that they have these, like they have good finances, but it's the PSR that's now preventing clubs from reaching the top, like the level like United, City, the level of reaching the successes that we have as clubs. Obviously, including Chelsea and Liverpool and Arsenal as well. But I want to know your thoughts on just the final and obviously Newcastle's future going forward after this.
Well-deserved win. They deserved actually to win the final, to win 2 years ago when they played United, but they were just, unfortunately, they had a terrible. They're going through a terrible run of form at that time, and United were able to win it. Last year when we played them in the, I think, round of 16 or quarterfinals, we didn't deserve to beat them. But again, they were going through a poor period, and Kieran Trippier basically assisted Mudryk to get the equalizer, and we beat them on pens. But yeah, credit to Newcastle. It's well deserved, and hopefully now, 2 years ago as well, West Ham winning the Conference League. Hopefully now teams in England can start taking these quote unquote lesser trophies more seriously now, because you see it abroad in La Liga, for example. Atletico Bilbao, they not just win the Copa del Rey last year. You see these smaller
against Sociedad
taking things
they're actually,
seriously.
Sorry to interrupt you, Prime, but they're actually the third. They're actually the third most successful club in Spanish history. Athletic
Yeah,
Bilbao.
I know, but they haven't been successful.
They haven't been successful. Yeah.
You have Villarreal. They won a Europa League. Look at Sevilla. How many Europa Leagues they've amassed? Atletico Madrid. The only reason why we view them as a big club is because they won it was 4 Europa Leagues, I think, in 4 years or something like that, or 5 years, a decade ago under Simeone, and they built themselves up into being this big club we see now in the modern day. Teams need to take this sort of stuff seriously. And you look at Newcastle, you look at Villa, who I don't think they'll make top 4 this season, but next year I back them to go win the Europa League. You look at teams like Forest now, Bournemouth. Start taking your opportunities if you end up in these competitions.
I think Forest can win the FA Cup.
In this country, we're too top 4 centric. And yes, it's good being in the Champions League, but if you're not going to win Champions League, or you're just there for the money, and we've seen it Wenger actually made this famous being top 4 being a trophy. You've seen it with Man United over the years, Spurs over the years, even now you're starting to see it with Chelsea. You get in Champions League, you don't do anything, you get knocked out. At least with these, with Newcastle, West Ham, Villa next year, go win these competitions because it's up there for grabs. You have teams like Chelsea and United and Arsenal disrespecting the Carabao and FA Cup until we get to the semi-final. But yeah, we end up fluking our way through the rounds because we'll play a Bournemouth, but they'll play a
much weak inside.
Well. It doesn't make sense. So I like what Newcastle did. It's going to be interesting with the money and stuff, but I think what's more important is keeping the quality you have. And with Isaac being linked to a Newcastle, being linked to Liverpool, Arsenal, them winning this matters. You keep Isaac there. You keep Tonali there. You keep Livramento and Lewis Hall, etc. You keep your best players there, and you just add your quality. They don't need to spend big money because you can find quality players around. You don't need to spend 100 million or whatever, or what Chelsea and Arsenal have done, and Man United. Don't need to spend the big money. They can find good players. I think the big question mark is Eddie Howe, because I was having this conversation with Steve last year when Newcastle were poor, and he was saying Eddie Howe has to go, and I was saying that you got to give him another year because considering how bad your squad depth is, he deserves another year. This year, they've been better at times, but with injuries, again, not having the squad depth, it showed the ceiling. And I agree with Steve that you can get rid of Eddie Howe this summer, but him just winning the Carabao Cup now,
I think
you have to now think, is that the right move? If you get rid of him, then you need to get a better manager. it's to be fair, it's kind of a shame that Villa have Emery. Well, if you can get like an Emery level manager, or you can manage to pull off a coup and get what's his name, Carlo Ancelotti, because he's leaving Real Madrid. If you can get like a class manager, like Newcastle over the next few years, keep building. You don't need to splash 200 mil and win the league next year. Just keep building, keep doing, because the Newcastle fans, they'll back it. They've not seen anything for like centuries, basically. They'll back whatever you do. So just keep building, keep going, keep going. You will get there eventually. You'll get there. So just run it the right way. It's not like a Chelsea or an Arsenal where we're impatient because we need to win because we're a big club. Newcastle fans know what they are. So if you keep building over the next few years, keep your quality players though. I like what Newcastle are doing. I like the project. When Chelsea are gone to dust, Newcastle will be my team. I'm joking.
I envy Newcastle's owners, man. Trust me, I envy what they have because, bro, as a United fan, you know me. I would love to have owners that care. Because I don't know if you guys saw a clip right of yesterday outside of Wembley. There were Newcastle fans, or was it in Newcastle? I can't remember where it was. There was a Newcastle fan. I think some of the Newcastle owners were in Arab, or is it Arab? Two Arab people wearing the actual Arab costumes that they were wearing, and they were saying Newcastle, and then the fans were going like crazy. It's like there's actually a sense of connection between the owners and the fans at Newcastle as well. It's not just like the money that they bring in. It's the sense of connection that the fan base have with the owners. That's so important because look at me and Josh, right? Our clubs have no connection to the owners whatsoever. We don't have we can't even speak to the owners like back then. We used to be able to speak to the owners and have a board meeting with them, but now it's like as if like you can't do that anymore. They completely cut all connections from the fan base and the ownership. But at least with Newcastle, they're on the right path to success, and I think you know what I agree with you completely. If they keep the core intact, and they keep the players that they have, definitely get to the top. Definitely be competing for league titles. I think in the next 2 years or 3 years, I think Newcastle are going to be competing for league titles. I don't know what they'll do. I don't know if they'll add players, but I reckon they will. But if they can add players and just keep a core of Isak, Tonali, Bruno G, and who else? Anthony Gordon, but add some more players on top of that, they can definitely be, contending, Josh.
Oh yeah, of course they can. I was thinking about Man City's first trophy, 2011 1-0 FA Cup win against Stoke.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking obviously that was under Mancini. That provided the springboard, the foundation for their first league title and whatnot. Now, will Newcastle become as successful as City? I don't think so, but they will still be successful. And for Newcastle, it will mean a lot more. I don't want to sound like a Liverpool fan saying it means more, but in terms of where Newcastle have come from and whatnot, because they were in a worse state than Man City were when they got taken over. And like I said earlier, winning breeds confidence. And I think we will see a similar parallel to the likes of Chelsea and City, where after you get that one trophy under the belt, others will quickly follow under your new ownership.
Facts. And even if they don't win the league for, like, say, it takes another 5 years to win the league, if they keep doing this, racking up domestics, Carabao this year, win FA Cup next year, keep racking things up along the way, all of a sudden, like, you build up a winning mentality. And this is what Spurs should have done under Poch early on. It's what Arsenal should have been doing under Arteta early on. You build up that winning mentality that way. Oh, Dan Burn has a trophy, so you can't be telling me, oh, I need to spend 100 million on the best player around. You don't. Dan Burn has a trophy. Havertz, you have Havertz. Werner has a Champions League. Like, you can win things with players that aren't necessarily fashionable, but they work for the system and whatever. It's just, I like what Newcastle are doing, man. So long as they don't turn into dickhead fans, I like what they're doing.
Now, I think Newcastle for me had the most loyal supporters in the country. If you ask me the loyalty, the number one supporters in the country, it's got to be Newcastle. they're definitely up there, man, and they deserve it. They've been waiting for a long time for this because obviously, like I said earlier in the stream, they've been through a lot with Mike Ashley, and the crap ownership with Sports Direct. But now that the Saudis have come in and have taken over, they've just been on a whole new level. So yeah, what are you gonna say, Josh?
Oh, well, I wasn't going to say anything. I was just building on the point that we were making beforehand. Obviously, domestic trophies do have to rack them up. I think Chelsea, even before Abramovich, I think they won the odd FA Cup in 2000 and whatnot. And then under Mourinho, they won the League Cup first, which gave them the confidence to march on towards their first Premier League title in 50 years, I think. And I think even like under George Graham, I mean, we got our first trophy in '87. 2 years later, we win the league at Anfield. So obviously winning breeds confidence and whatnot. There's a history of that happening. Like Prime said, it's what we should have done under Arteta. But unfortunately, we didn't build on the FA Cup win. We just kept going round and round and round. But less said about Arsenal, the better. Just congratulations, Newcastle, on your victory. And in terms of their fans, I mean, their fans deserve it more than anyone. Now, obviously, being an Arsenal fan, there's been quite a few bad-tempered affairs over the years. And the fans have, the two sets of fans have been a bit at each other's throats, so to speak. But personally, I don't mind because they've got our number. And at the end of the day, they deserve it because they're doing all the right things. They've got the right squad. It's proven that they've got the right manager now. And they can definitely build onwards and upwards.
And it just shows England. Remember a few months ago when people were saying, "Oh, Eddie Howe shouldn't get the job. What has he done at Newcastle? He got knocked out of the Champions League group stages. He's not won anything." Now, people are saying he should get the England job. You see what happens? England, you see what happens when you stay humble? See what happens?
Wow.
And now Tuchel, remember I said if you hired one of these top managers, you have to allow them to just be them. Tuchel bringing in Henderson, people don't like it. Tuchel brought in Dan Burn, people don't like it, but Dan Burn just scored in a cup final. So, we'll see.
Yeah, and one last thing, what we were talking about with the mentality in England. I saw Newcastle was for you, Newcastle's page on my For You page on X. I saw Eddie Howe lifting up the trophy, and I was thinking, like, would you rather finish in the top 5 than like experience that? Like, would I rather finish second last year and then get spanked by Madrid, or would I rather have Arteta lifting up the League Cup? Obviously, I'd rather have Arteta lifting up the League Cup. Is that something I'll tell my grandkids about at the end of the day?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh yeah, we went through a barren year, but at least we beat Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final. So we still had something to add to the trophy cabinet.
Especially, like, obviously, if you're a big club, you want to do both. I get it, but
yeah,
if your Spurs are below, don't tell me you want to finish top 4. Don't tell me I want to finish third. I want to finish third, go in the Champions League, and get knocked out in the round of 16. Don't tell me that's what you want. You don't. You want to win a Carabao. You want to win a Europa League or a conference or an FA. That's what you want.
Prime,
you need that.
Prime, do you remember the year that Conte was a manager with Spurs? They forfeited that Conference League. Spurs
fans are telling me I don't care about Conference League because Arsenal fans will laugh at us. Who cares about Arsenal fans? Win a trophy. Honestly,
win a trophy.
Win. That's the mentality in England, bro. It's the mentality.
And that's the biggest problem because I'm literally just seeing a lot of people now say they'd rather a top 4 over FA Cup. I'm like, what are you trying to do with this? Because bro, we could have a successful season. They ask you at the end of the year, lay out your medals at the end of the season. I'll lay out my FA Cup medal, for example. This is just an example, yeah. Prime lays out his Conference League medal. I lay out my FA Cup medal. Josh lays out his Europa League medal. City lay out their Premier League medal. City lay out their Premier League medal. Liverpool fans taunting them, but we'll ask them, what did you win? What did they win? Nothing. So we've had a more successful season than them. It just tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, I think Prime alluded to this earlier about Wenger. I mean, even before he said top 4 is like a trophy for us back in February 2012, I even go back to 2005 when we were still like seen as like a ambitious big club and whatnot. And before we played Man United in the 2005 FA Cup final, he was more focused on beating Liverpool to cement second place, so that we wouldn't have to go through the Champions League qualification. So I think we should blame Wenger essentially for allowing Sky Sports to capitalise on this top four marketing, because he was doing it well before top four was considered acceptable for Arsenal fans, you know. And yeah, it's just as we said. At the end of the day, football is about trophies. I mean, are you going to, Akavan, if Man United finished fourth this year, would you tell your grandkids in 60 years' time, oh yeah, back in 2024, we qualified for the Champions League, which we subsequently got knocked out?
I just packed Eddie Howe on Ultimate Team.
Hey,
he's listening. Yeah.
Trophies. No, but bro, Josh, like you said, it's not something that people will remember in years' time. They'll remember who you beat to the league, but they won't remember your team, what they did that year. They won't remember what you did. They'll remember what you won and who you beat, right? I'll give you an example. You guys, right? I think what year was it? In 1990, was it 1992? You guys finished 10th, and you won a cup double.
93,
and you won a cup double. You won the League Cup and the FA Cup, beating Sheffield Wednesday in both finals. Yeah, you'll take that any day of the week, because do you know what FA Cup does? It takes you to Europe. It takes you back to Europe, and now the League Cup, because now Newcastle have guaranteed a place in the Europe next year. And I was seeing that. Do you know what? A possibility of 11 teams in England could get Europe next year. A possible 11. I'm not saying all 11 teams will get it, but there's a chance that there's a potential chance that 11 teams, that the space will be open for 11 teams to get Europe.
Wait, what?
Really?
11 teams in the Prem can go into Europe.
Because seven teams can get Champions League, three can get Europa, 2 gets conference.
But that depends on Villa winning the Champions League.
Newcastle guaranteed Conference League. If they finish outside top 4, they've guaranteed Conference League. Newcastle, because Carabao Cup gets you Conference League.
And you know what's funny? 11 English teams in Europe, but no one's going to win it.
That's true.
Most probably, yeah.
It's true, bro. Because we'll likely see Real Madrid do it again. We'll likely see Real Madrid, or maybe even a Bayern Munich next year. Who knows? It depends what Bayern Munich do. But then again, it just tells you how weak the mindset of English football really is now. Because so many people I speak to, they're all out here dismissing cups. I'm not going to call this person out, right? But there was somebody, I saw a Q&A. I saw Q&A. Would you rather top 4 or FA Cup? They said top 4. I'm like, oh my god, okay, nah. You've not understood the successes of English football, or understood the successes of football. Sorry, the successes of football. You've not understood it.
Oh, are you talking about the guy that said trophies don't matter? Are you talking about that guy?
No.
You got.
It's another person. I wouldn't call it this person, but
no, name names.
I ain't naming anyone. But I will name somebody though.
Private chat.
I will name somebody though. The League Cup doesn't matter. I wonder who said that.
That pissed me the fuck off, yeah, because I would much rather have your season in 22-23 than ours. Because you're only one position below us. We qualify for the same competition, and you win a trophy with that. So, like, you know,
bro, there's a certain somebody, on Dan Potts' channel. Shout out Dan Potts, football stuff, man. Make sure you guys subscribe to Dan Potts, right, bro? There was somebody, the League Cup, the League Cup doesn't matter. I wonder who said that, and another fella I want to call out, and another guy I want to call out, winning the Carabao Cup. Nah. Egal.
It was, wasn't it? It was.
Egal said winning the League Cup doesn't matter.
Now, this is what pisses me off, because if you were a Man City fan, I'd understand disregarding the League Cup, but when you're on a 5-year trophy drought, you need to take anything,
they would disregard. They would not disregard the League Cup. They've been
No, but I
winning
mean,
League
like
Cups
the Man City fans, like, I can understand why some of them will go, "Oh, I don't really care about the League Cup,"
because you know why?
because they've obviously won so much. But if you're on a 5-year trophy drought,
Do you
you're
know?
going to have
Do you
to
know
go for
why?
it.
Do you know why Man City disregarded the League Cup? It's because they had to go to the Club World Cup in Saudi Arabia. That's why they wanted to become world champions after winning the treble. Yeah, so that's why they disregarded the League Cup that year, because they had to travel to Saudi Arabia. But then guess what? Another one. There was another incident, right? Oh, not another incident, but there was another fella that said,
Fella.
I'm sure it's not not an Arsenal fan this time. I'm sure you guys all know him. CBS Sport. Apparently, winning the Carabao Cup is not better than winning the FA Cup. Said that right before the final. We saw his we saw his miserable face after the PSG game, caught on camera, and we saw his interview defending Mo Salah against.
I heard what he had to argue against it, and to be fair, I do see his logic. But at the end of the day, the FA Cup is of higher prestige. So, I mean, the be-all and end-all should be the FA Cup over the Carabao. But then again, if you're one of the big clubs like us three are supposedly, then you should go
Jamie
for
Carragher.
No, I saw the interview. I understand what he meant. I mean, I understood the argument. But at the end of the day, the FA Cup is of higher prestige. So,
no, fair enough. But still, like, come on. I wanted to win the cup double the year City won the treble, man. I really wanted to stop them winning the treble, man. That was like, we had to do it, man. But unfortunately, they ended up winning the treble, and yeah, it's what it is. But anyways, we move. I think we'll head to we'll go to the Premier League. Actually, before that, I don't know if you guys watched the Atletico Madrid Barcelona game last night. Prime, did you watch that? That was an incredible game. Bro, I swear down. Atleti were 2-0 up. Barca came back to win 4-2. That was mad. That was mad. But anyways, we'll talk about the Premier League now. Arsenal, Chelsea. Obviously, since you both are fans of both clubs. I'll start with you, Josh. Obviously, the Arsenal win. How are you feeling about that? And talk about the game.
Well, obviously, in the context of the league season, it's good for our pursuit of second place. Because we aren't catching Liverpool up. I think in terms of the game, we started really well first half an hour, then we kind of let Chelsea back into it. For the first half an hour, I mean, to be fair, for pretty much the entire game, I mean, the second half was absolutely atrocious as well. I think Chelsea players were more concerned with kicking us about than actually trying to play football, but, you know, by the by. In terms of the goal, 20th minute, Ødegaard actually providing an assist for once. He was still terrible for the entire game, like he has been all season, but that's by the by. At least he got the game-winning assist. Marino, good glancing header across. I mean, I looked at the Chelsea team. I'm sorry, like, in terms of our team, I think I've said enough. I saw the Chelsea team. I was like, all right, first off, Robert Sanchez in goal. He's going to be shaky, which he was. And then I saw Wesley Fofana at right back. And I was like, wouldn't you rather him at centre back? Then I saw Reece James in midfield, and I was like, what the hell is this guy doing? And then I see Enzo Fernandez in the 10 with Pedro Neto up front. And I'm like, have you really spent the GDP of a small country on this squad? Because that just seems like horrendous mismanagement. It's like a continual string of errors that Maresca's made, I suppose. And as a result, their performance was lethargic. And it was quite easy for us. I mean, the scoreline probably doesn't suggest that because it was close in margin. But I don't think we were really in any danger. I think standout performers, Gabriel was good, as he usually is. He's definitely the club captain for me. Timber was absolutely fantastic, and he has been all season, coming off the back of an ACL as well. I think him and Gabriel are probably our players of the season, which I think says more about our strike force than it does us defensively. But that's by the by. Rice was superb again. He always puts in incredible performances, unless it's against West Ham. Ødegaard, I said, was shaky as he has been all season, but I've come to expect that now. Who else? Martinelli, I thought started well, then kind of drifted off. Marino, good header. Apart from that, he didn't really get involved. And Trossard, absolute stinkfest yet again. But hey, 3 points. It's always enjoyable beating Chelsea, no matter how poor or good they are. So, I'm happy. And I was more concerned with Chelsea's starting 11 because that was poor.
Shout out AK. Prime, obviously, big up Prime, big up AK. But yeah, Prime, obviously Chelsea falling to Arsenal yesterday, but talk about the game and talk about your performance as a whole and how you feeling after the game. Yeah, Arsenal 3 points. You know what I mean?
Prime.
Oh, what? Sorry.
The Arsenal Chelsea game. Talk about from your side. How you feeling after the game and your performance as a whole yesterday?
Is what it is. Is what it is. I don't think Arsenal were even like good in the attacking sense against us. I'll be real. I think Sanchez just kept like doing what Sanchez does and giving them things unnecessarily. The goal, good header from Moreno, but like I still think you should be saving that. And then Arsenal after that goal didn't really like do anything towards us. We grew into the game. Yeah, it was. We grew into the game after the 37th minute from that Kukurea shot. But aside from that, we didn't have any other shot on goal. Sanchez should never play for my club again, but I know he's going to keep playing until the end of the season. Badiashile had a poor first half. Well, I say poor, shaky first half. He was better in the second. I don't know. Just awful all around. And Maresca shaking Timber's hand after that is just that's bad.
Try harder, yeah.
I don't know. Look, if that's like Jose or Tuchel or Conte, he's getting slapped, bro. Slap Timber. Do something at least to make Chelsea fans like celebrate if we're gonna lose. But yeah,
not say that sums up the mentality of your club now.
Does, but again, I keep saying Chelsea fans who hired him, but people want to blame Maresca. It's fine. I don't know. It's just if that header doesn't go in, that game ends 0-0 because we both did nothing. But whatever, I don't know. I don't care. Like end the season, man.
Have you not won away from home in 2025? The Prem.
We've not won away from home since like the beginning of December. I think December 9th or something like that.
Was that Spurs?
And we've not won. I think so. We've not won a big game all season.
Your last win away from home in the league was against
Southampton, I think. Our last home win away from home, I think, was Southampton.
It was Tottenham. Sure. It was Tottenham.
Oh no, it was Tottenham, and before that it was Southampton. I think before that it was Leicester. Pretty sure.
Southampton and then Leicester, yeah. Obviously, Chelsea do have Brentford soon, which is going to.
And then before that Leicester game, our last win away from home was West Ham. I'm pretty sure. So, but hey, when I speak on certain things, people don't want to listen to me. It's cool.
In terms of what the season has to offer, obviously you guys go Conference League now. You should be winning that one. You should be winning the Conference.
No one cares about. Well, yeah, we will. We will. I say we will. We'll win Conference League. We will win Conference League, but
you will win.
Again, no one cares. Like, just get it done. End the season, man.
It's embarrassing for a club like Chelsea to be in the Conference League, wouldn't you say? It
is embarrassing, but the way I look at it is, it's only embarrassing if we don't win it. If we win the Conference League, then like if you win the Conference League, then fine, people can try and banter, but it is a trophy, so whatever. But if we don't win it, then it's embarrassing. I agree. So we better win it. regardless. Like, if we don't win Conference League, then that for me is that fully is on Maresca, because I don't care who we put out. I expect us to win, especially now that we don't face a difficult side on paper until the final, where it could be Betis or Fiorentina. Yeah, go win Conference League. In terms of top four is still, or top five with fifth place being Champions League. Champions League football is still there for the taking. So, because as much as we're inconsistent, the teams around us are also inconsistent. So it's there for us to take. So we'll see.
What did you make of the lineup? Because I saw the likes of Sanchez starting. I saw Reece James in midfield with Enzo as the 10 and Neto up front. I mean, that just strikes as poor squad building, in my opinion. But I mean, I don't know if you have any.
Oh, it
opinion on
does.
that.
Oh, I'm glad you see the poor squad building, because when I've been saying this, our squad building has been poor for a couple of years. Even under Roman, I was speaking about the poor squad building since 2017. The poor squad building.
Oh,
So that's
some of
why
2017 was terrible.
I've been saying, and so that's why when Chelsea fans are like, "Oh, it's just this ownership." No, the squad building was poor beforehand. The fact that we let Christensen and Rudiger go into the last year of their contracts, and then some weirdness happens with a war with Russia, Ukraine, and our owner gets booted out of the country. Like, if Rudiger and Christensen were tied down to contracts, regardless of the war happening, they'd still be at Chelsea. We wouldn't need to buy Koulibaly and Fofana, and then Badiashile, and then the Sassy, and not have a centre back partnership.
I thought Koulibaly at the time was a good signing.
Yeah, he was, but it's just a shame.
A volley against Spurs.
It's a shame that he fell off a cliff, but I don't know. Chelsea's Chelsea, innit? So
I just don't see the plan that you guys have, like in terms of squad building. It just seems more like you're trying to piss other clubs off than actually think about the long term. But I don't want to like rub it in. I mean, Arsenal.
Hey, listen, I make enough jokes at Arsenal's expense. You can make jokes as well. It's fine.
It's not a joke. It's genuinely poor. Like I saw, I'm just thinking Reece James in midfield, Enzo was the 10, even Fofana at right back. It's just a continual string of errors that have led to this. And is it any wonder you should be challenging at the top of the league, with the amount you've spent, but with the players you've brought in, it just doesn't seem like. You seem like a pretty poor outfit, in my opinion, and I think it's going to take a few more years before it finally evens itself out and you're a consistent performer.
But I think Chelsea had. If you ask me, it is a team that can win the Premier League sooner between us three clubs. It's definitely Chelsea.
Probably, yeah.
I think Chelsea had the best.
Wait, what?
Before Arsenal and United win the Premier League, I think Chelsea win one before.
What are you basing that on?
I'm basing it on your recruitment. You got no. I'm not saying the recruitment of young players. I'm saying that you can buy whoever you want at any time, because you guys splash out money and you get.
I think it's an owner thing, because all three of our clubs can, but it's only Chelsea that would willingly do that.
Chelsea are the ones who are willing to splash cash at anyone, bro. That's the thing.
I don't think you guys know my club, man.
Well,
if you had Roman, then you're definitely winning a league title before all of us, 100%.
Yeah, but we don't have Roman.
But even then, actually, maybe Arsenal. To be honest, actually, now I think about it, maybe before. I'll
not
tell
with
you
this squad, and not with this manager, because too many basic mistakes season after season that cost us crucially.
Because I actually tipped Arsenal to win this year, and thinking
that same.
City, I thought City were going to drop off, and they actually dropped off, but not the
So
way
did
I
we.
thought. Not the way I thought they'd drop it, but then Arsenal dropped off too. And Liverpool took advantage, and now they're winning the league. So that's just, peak. But any more thoughts on the game before we move on?
No, it's just always enjoyable to beat Chelsea, and at least we keep the unbeaten run against them going. So congratulations, Mikel, on that.
Hey, well done. What a trophy.
Cheers, man. You should have used those 2 Champions Leagues to stop the corner. I don't know.
It's the third CL by the end of the season, man.
No, we'll Apollo 1. This will be our first.
You guys want to cook Tottenham?
Nah, I mean Spurs. I mean, you know what you're getting with
Irrelevant.
Spurs, really. Yeah.
Irrelevant club, right there.
Did they not win?
Well,
They lost 2-0 to Fulham, bro.
Oh yeah, but Spurs, they always lose.
thing is, I don't even take the piss out of Spurs because we're on a 5-year trophy drought as well. So we're basically the Red Spurs. Is how I see it
We'll talk about
under this manager.
City Brighton then. I'll start with you first, Prime.
Well, what City Brighton?
Yeah, City Brighton. What happened? What didn't happen in that game, and how do you think it went out? Because I came back home from dinner. And I completely fell asleep. I didn't watch any football on Saturday. I was way too tired. And then I watched the Real Madrid game later, and that was it. Hardly watched any football that day. Then on Sunday, it was just the usuals, the Carabao Cup final with United, and then the Athletic. I catch the end of Athletic Barca game, which was a really good game, but yes, City Brighton. Josh, you can start with us if you want to.
I know. I think Prime was going to say something. I'll let him start off.
Oh, sorry.
City Brighton. I didn't watch that game. I didn't watch.
You didn't watch?
No.
Josh, did you watch?
Well, I've seen the highlights. I think Brighton will consider themselves unlucky that we didn't win. I think they're on a 7-game unbeaten streak now since they lost 7-0 to Forest. They seem to be picking up form at the perfect time, and I would love to see them in the Champions League because obviously I work at the club, and it will be fantastic seeing the Europe's best teams playing at the Amex. So hopefully they do sneak into the top 5. But I think they have. I don't know. Their players, their squad building's fantastic as well. Tony Bloom's done a brilliant job with the statistical analysis, recruitment. I mean, I don't know what to say. I think this is just. I think it dawns on me that this really is Pep's worst ever season in management so far, and I don't think it's going to get any worse for him throughout the rest of his life or career, I should say. Because City, I don't know why he persists with the likes of Bernardo Silva and Gundogan in the midfields, man. They're getting outrun every single week. They're past their best. Like, you've got to change something. It's just, I understand the arrogance. I understand the belief, but when it's not working to this extent, you just have to change it up at this point. And like I said, Brighton should have won. I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Belieber, but he missed an absolute sitter towards the end.
Savinho as well missed a really, really good chance in the game.
Man, you should have seen Belieber. I think it was Belieber. You should have seen his chance, man. Like, last few minutes would have sealed for win. A long trip up from the south coast up to Manchester, and that would have been the perfect ending, but unfortunately not. And I do think City will. I do keep reiterating this. I think City will finish in the top 5. I can't fathom them in the Europa League, and if they do somehow finish outside of the top 5, I seriously doubt that Pep will stay.
I think he still stays. Pep can
not for the Europa League, man.
Nah, because if they win the FA Cup, then Pep does stay, because then it's another trophy that Man City has.
Well, what I mean by leave is that he'll leave on his own accord. If he doesn't finish from the top.
I don't think so. He just signed a new deal. He's had some off the field issues, obviously with his family, with his wife and everything. I think that means he might stay for a bit longer than we think, but I'm not so sure the City board wanted him to stay. That's the only problem. I'm not so sure if they'll accept him staying after a terrible season like this. Obviously, they're gonna want him to rebuild the club and then leave it to the next manager. I think that's going to happen.
Well, I don't.
If you figure like Pep as a good manager, you bring in some good names. It's the pull that City will have with the big names and Pep Guardiola. Then that's where I think the rebuild starts. Well, you use as a name for the pool of good players. Sorry, go on, John.
Sorry, man. I was just going to say, I think it's what Mourinho said after he lost to Leicester. I think it was in December 2015. He was like, when the champions are having such a bad season, to win a domestic cup and finish in the top 4, it's okay. And I think the City owners will see it the same way. It will be like we understand to an extent the drop-off, but at the end of the day, it still wasn't good enough. We're going to back you in the summer, like we have done in January, and we're going to expect you to continue where you left off. Because at the end of the day, if like after the horrendous run that City have been on and continue to be on, if you want to count the amount of drop points, to finish in the top 5, get into the Champions League, and win the FA Cup, I think that is a fine salvage job.
I think this is the worst season of City I've seen in a long time, mate. And the fact that they're still within 2 points.
I've never seen City this bad.
I've seen them in 2010. They were awful. In 2010, they were awful. I think in 2011 they were okay, but not really at that. I guess City have had some poor seasons along the line. Like 15-16, they signed some incredible players, but then Pep Guardiola came in and changed everything. Obviously, you'll want to salvage something. So I'm seeing Man City fans talk about top 4, but hey, you got the FA Cup still. So let's talk about the FA Cup.
I understand top 4 with like Man City fans talking about it because they've proven recently that they do go far in it and they do win it. Like with Arsenal, for example, like I can talk about now, but particularly under Wenger when he marketed it as a trophy. Like the fact was, we kept getting knocked out of round 16. We were never. I would say we were never serious about winning it, but we were never going to win it regardless of whether we took it seriously or not. So there was no point in us even getting top 4. But with City, I think there is a purpose to it because they've proven that they can win it. They've got the manager and resources to win it. And I have no doubt that they will win it again.
Fair enough. Obviously, I do want to mention Man City's recruitment as well over the years. I feel like ever since they've signed Haaland and Alvarez and Gavardio, ever since then, you could argue that their transfer windows and their recruitment has been absolutely terrible. I think it's down to the obviously like you said PSR and everything kind of plays into a factor, but then they signed Gavardio for 90 million, or was it 90 million? Or
I think it was around 90 million.
90 million euros.
I think they signed Doku that same summer as well.
They signed Doku, but then do you really rate Doku to that extent, or is it just?
Well, it was an incoming. I mean, regardless of how he's worked out, I mean, he's won a Premier League medal, so he's done something, right?
I think this summer that Man City, even though City are not having a great season, if you look at the signings City made, right? Obviously, they brought in Sabinho. That's a good signing. Who else they're bringing this?
But bringing Gundogan back.
Gundogan back. At the time, we all thought it was a good signing because we actually at the time it was like they're adding squad depth, right? To Rodri, cover for Kovacic. But then at the end of the day, it's not worked out. Kovacic himself ain't even playing well. He himself ain't even playing well. Then you bring in January. Nico Gonzalez, right? That they signed from Porto. He had a short-term injury as well, so he hardly played. Mamouche, class. I think that's a class signing. I think Mamouche is their best signing since Haaland Alvarez. I'm not saying he's a better. Obviously, I'm not comparing the level of players. But the signing they made, like the quality of the signing that they've made, in terms of signing quality, this is arguably one of the best transfers that they've made since they've made the Haaland Alvarez signings. Because, like I said, bro, their recruitment over the years is why they're in this predicament right now. They had plenty of chances to replace Kevin De Bruyne, or at least sign players to play instead of De Bruyne now, because De Bruyne is obviously getting old and he's getting a lot of injuries at his late age. Right, they had a lot of chances to bring in a KDB successor. Right, they had the chance to replace Gundogan. They didn't do that. They brought him back, and now he's not helping. Right, they had plenty of chances to sign a center back or sign a replacement for John Stones. Didn't do that. Kyle Walker left in January. City didn't sign a replacement. They're still playing Rico Lewis at right back. Yes, they signed Kusanov, but is he Kyle Walker's replacement? I don't think so. I think he's a squad depth player. Because obviously, I want to, as an Asian myself, I would love to see Asian players do well in the Premier League, right? But is he really that type? Is he really Man City? Is he really going to be Man City starting right back next season? I don't think he should be. I think he's a squad player. So City have to do a lot of work in the summer if they really want to get back Champions League football. And if they
And
get
they will.
Champions League football, they're spending a heck load. They're spending at least, I'll tell you, 350 million. They're spending a lot of money this summer because we all know Man City's recruitment can be good, but they just haven't. They've just not spent it properly. They've not spent it wisely. And the names over the years just tell you. It just tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, well, I understand. I think the main issue was age. I think Pep put too much faith in the likes of bringing Gundogan back, which I still can't understand. The likes of Carl Walker, John Stones, as you mentioned, Ruben Diaz, Kevin De Bruyne. Like the main cogs in their team were aging, and I don't think they found any adequate replacements. I mean, like you were saying, with the Haaland and Alvarez summer window, since the summer of 2022, Gvardiol aside, like, have any of their signings really added anything extra? And Gvardiol, I mean, is he not just João Cancelo again? Like, from what I've seen, I mean, both really good goal threats, but both a bit suspect defensively. I think in terms of their squad personnel, they have stagnated, and I think it's bitten them in the arse big time this season. But like we said, they're the only club that acts with ambition to that extent.
Yeah.
They've splashed out 200 million euros in January as a result of not spending big since the Haaland and Alvarez summer 2022 window. And should they finish in the Champions League again, which will add more money alongside the Sheikh Mansour's money as well? Should they finish in the top 5, which I think they will? Like you said, they're going to splash big. They're going to splash massive in the summer on key areas that need strengthening, i.e. De Bruyne's position, i.e. at right back. Even a new winger, which I think they're in desperate need of as well. So,
compete with Phil Foden as well. You want to compete with Foden. Obviously, Foden's not having the best of years as well. We've seen it since the Euros. He's not performed at the Euros. And
man, I don't like Foden. No, he's never done anything to me personally. It's just the Foden Saka debate, and I shamelessly think Saka's better. So I always have this agenda against him. But Euro 2024 was so poor. But the majority of players were poor in Euro 2024. So.
It was him and Cole Palmer who really disappointed, in my opinion, because I thought Cole Palmer was going to have a great Euros.
He didn't even get off the bench. Well, he didn't even start.
But even then, like, even if he didn't start, like, because we're talking about like Phil Foden here, arguably the best player in the Premier League last year. In my opinion, at least, he was the best player. He was the best player in the Premier League last year.
Admittedly, so. Yeah.
And you could argue that this is a complete the downfall from Phil Foden this year. He'll definitely come back next year. In my opinion, I think he'll come back next year. Right now, from what I'm seeing from him is he doesn't have any competition in this team. He doesn't have competition on his side. Go look at the names that Phil Foden could have as his successor. Bernardo Silva, I don't think he's better than Phil Foden. If you're looking at ability wise, I think Phil Foden's is way better than Bernardo Silva, right?
I don't think so.
I think Bernardo Silva's more techy on the ball, but Phil Foden's just a better like dribbler, overall footballer. But even then, like, I don't know. It depends on the recruitment in the summer. Like I said before, who they bring in. Like the squad depth for me, I think Man City is lacking in depth as well. It's not just a starting 11. I think that needs to be replaced. I think the bench as well that needs to be looked at. Rico Lewis, I'm sorry, not good enough. It's not good enough. I think Man City need at least 2 right backs this summer, or at least one because Kusanov's there. But I think you bring in someone else for instance, and then you make Kusanov the bench option. A left back. I think Man City need a left back.
I think they need improvements everywhere, given how poor they've been.
Can we talk about Ruben Diaz as well, man? What's happened to Ruben Diaz? What's happened to this?
Did he win Player of the Year in 2021? Because I swear he was like so highly rated.
I think so. He was, yeah. Ruben Diaz was one of the best players in 2021 as well. That
Yeah,
that
him
was
and
that.
Stones as the centre back pairing was
Yeah,
insane.
it was. Stones, but then even then, Stones can't stay fit now. Like John Stones is another one like who we hyped up like when the other City won the treble, right? But what's he done ever since?
Just scored the bloody equaliser against us, the prick. Oh. But apart from that,
But even then, like, guy can't stay fit. So Man City had to spend a heck load of money this summer. And if you ask me, if there's any club in the Big Six that will go on a massive spending spree to improve their team and go back to challenging again, it's only Man City. It's only Man City. They've sold 500 million worth of players over the last 5 years, and they can definitely use all that money to go and improve on players. They can easily go and spend 350 million in the summer. It's about whether PSR gets in the way of it. Because if City sell, for example, if they let KDB go this summer, which I think they can, which I think they might, Bernardo Silva goes, right? I even go as far as to say Ruben Diaz, he could go. I'd even go as far as to say that because, Ruben Diaz is one of those players like, he's not had a great couple years, but then, sorry, he's come in and started off well, but then the last couple of years he's just completely dipped, and trust me, I don't know, I need to also sign Rodri replacement as well.
without a shadow of a doubt,
that's the most important one because Rodri is their most important. If you ask me, who's their best player, it's Rodri. He's their most important player. He might even make a return before Luke Shaw does for United. That's how funny it is. The guy's been out all year, and he might even make a return before Luke Shaw does.
Could you make the case that Barcelona's midfield in 2011 would be even better had they had Rodri instead of Busquets?
Sorry, say that again.
Would you make the argument that Barcelona's midfield would have been even better if they had Rodri instead of Busquets at the base?
Barcelona. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, I mean, like if Barcelona had Rodri as the defensive midfielder instead of Busquets, do you reckon they would have been a better midfield?
I think the midfield's already fine,
Well, yeah, I mean,
because Pedri is literally a regen of one of the Spanish legends.
I mean, like Barcelona's legendary midfield.
Pedri
basically, is Busquets a better player than Rodri?
Who do you think Pedri's a regen of? Fabregas?
I don't know. No, but what I was trying to ask was, do you think Rodri is better than Busquets? As in, was he, if he was in Barcelona's midfield? You'd say he was better than Busquets.
Sorry, no. Replacement for Busquets? Yes. Better? No. No. I think Busquets is the best game. I think Busquets is the best defensive midfielder in the history of football. And I don't think you can ever replace Busquets. I don't think Rodri will ever come close to what Busquets does. I think Rodri's only, for me, if you ask me well and truly, I think Rodri's only had 3 amazing years in his career. I think if you go back to look at the first couple of years at Man City, I don't think he's been amazing. In the first 2 years when he joined Man City, I think the first year he joined, he was a bit of a struggle. Then his second year, he sort of started to improve. But then the years after that, I think Rodri's just been unbelievable since then. But I think
even in this.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
So, you can carry on.
No, I was just going to say, I don't think he's better than the likes of Busquets and most and all of the defensive midfielders. I think if you ask me Casemiro or Rodri all time, Casemiro. If it's all time in the Premier League era, it's Rodri. But go on.
Fair enough. I was going to say, you said about Rodri's second year at City, he started 72 games for City that year, apart from the Champions League final. Yeah, 72. I think. Yeah, I think I saw that. He started, or he was at least came off the bench as well. 72 appearances if I'm not mistaken, apart from the Champions League final, the most important one against Chelsea, which cost City dearly. So I think obviously he had a slow start in 1920, but since then he's been an absolute colossus and arguably the main reason why City went 4 in a row. So is he better than Busquets? Probably not, but he's just every bit as influential, if not more so, to this Guardiola team.
You got to give credit to Gundogan as well. I think Gundogan especially in that 2021 year, I'm sure everyone in FPL had Gundogan in their team that year. That 2020-21 season, we all had Gundogan because we knew he was bagging a goal or even a hat trick, bro. Bagged a fucking hat trick against Tottenham, bro, at home. He bagged the fucking hat trick against Tottenham at home. I just tell you everything you need to know. Yeah, he did. He bagged a hat trick against Tottenham. I swear he did.
Mine is fact check, right?
No, I think he did. I think he bagged the hat trick against Tottenham at home.
Right, that's fascinating matters because I thought he only scored twice.
It was a Man City 3-0 win during lockdown.
Oh yeah, 2021.
Yeah, 2021. I think he bagged the hat trick that game as well.
Was it a hat trick? No, Rodri scored a penalty that game, and Gundogan scored twice.
Or was a hat trick? Or it was a brace?
Yeah, Rodri scored a penalty. 23 minutes in. Can you see that? No, you can't.
He got a hat trick. My bad. But he bagged the brace. Fair enough. But yeah, even then, bro, like it just tells you that
he was still class that year.
No, he was 100%. But then, like you said, bro, the guy started 72 games for City that year. 72. Rodri started 72 games. And it comes back to my point is that Man City don't have a replacement. They had Calvin Phillips. What did Calvin Phillips do since he's coming to the team? What has Calvin Phillips done since coming into Man City? You know, what is Sergio? What is it? Am I saying is it Sergio Gomez the Man City left back? Sergio Gomez. It's Gomez. It's Sergio Gomez, right?
I think that was him. Yeah.
Yeah. City's recruitment over the years has just been poor. It's just been really, really poor. And Sergio Gomez was another one. Played a massive, like, you know, obviously he was massively underwhelming. So too was Calvin Phillips. We all thought that City's midfield was locked in when Calvin Phillips signed, but then even then, he's done nothing since. And he went to West Ham, done nothing since. Done nothing at West Ham. I don't know where he is right now. I must have forgotten, but then like I don't know, man. I'm just a bit like, yeah, City's recruitment needs to be improved, man. Because they could have won 5 in a row. They could have won like 5, 6 in a row if the recruitment was intact. But nah. But you want to continue from what I say? Sorry.
No, there's nothing else to say apart from their transfers inward have certainly been underwhelming, and I think it's come back to bite them in the arse big time this year, particularly the lack of Rodri replacement. And obviously, De Bruyne isn't performing as he usually used to, naturally because of his age as well. And they haven't really got a like-minded replacement for that. Foden, like you've mentioned earlier, hasn't stepped up. I think, we've spoken about City plenty of times since I've come on, and we do say the same things, but at the end of the day, I think it's kind of inevitable. We both know, but they'll fix it up come the summer. And I think they'll win the Premier League this time next year.
Fairs. But I'm gonna move on to United now. I think that's the only game I talk. I don't think I talk about any other games. We talked about the Arsenal game, Chelsea game. We talked about the City game with Liverpool, Newcastle.
We ain't bothered Spurs game.
We ain't bothered about Spurs unless you want to talk about the Spurs game real quick.
No. I mean, we already had a little bit on Spurs. Just like, who cares really? I mean.
First, but let's move on to United then. Manchester United 3. Oh, Forest. True. Forest. The summer Forest. Because they deserve the plaudits this year.
Well, I think it's which has gone down.
It's about their recruitment since they've come up to the Premier League, I think. You can kind of give praise to that. The recruitment since coming up to the Premier League. their sort of overhaul and bring in a good manager. Obviously, sacking Steve Cooper, who for me did a good job bringing them up, but then ever since then it's just been shit. And then you bring in Nuno Espirito Santo, who did a shit job at Spurs, but Wolves almost won them a European trophy if only they got a bit far. Really and truly, there's really not much to say about.
Well, I mean, we've already spoken about Forest and like how their owner is a great example of what to do when you're owning a football club.
Yeah, like you mentioned,
take the short-term pain for the long-term gain. And right now, Forest look as if they're going to get the long-term gain of qualifying for the Champions League. Obviously, Nuno Espirito Santo, you saw what he's done at Wolves.
I think quarterfinals as well. Got to mention that.
They did 2020, I think. Listen.
No, now they're in the FA Cup quarter. Now they're in the FA Cup quarter.
Yeah, I think they're playing Brighton away. Yeah, so it's going to be tough for them to get through, but they can easily get through. Well, not easily, but they can get through naturally. Listen, what else is there to say about Forest, man? They've been fantastic this year. Really dynamic in attack. Nuno Espirito Santo, brilliant manager. Yeah, like Luffy says, no build-up football, proper English football, so to speak. A win for the game, a bit like Dan Burns' header against Liverpool, proper English way to win a cup final. But listen, I would love Forest to be back in the Champions League because obviously they have European heritage, one of the biggest clubs in England.
Or Ben Watson versus Manchester City. I remember that game so very well.
What a hazard, man. I didn't get into football until over a year later, unfortunately, so I couldn't witness that. Well, I say unfortunately. Stopped having to watch Arsenal for an extra year, so I was probably quite fortunate. But that's by the by. At the end of the day, I hope Forest get into the Champions League. I reckon they will, especially with they've got the comfort blanket of the 5th place being a Champions League qualifying spot as well. So, yeah, about them, fantastic attack, fantastic team, fantastic team spirit with a good manager and whatnot. Ipswich, on the other hand, listen, you've tried, but ultimately you haven't been good enough. And we've talked about this before, the growing gap in quality between the Championship and the Premier League. It's getting harder. We can even go back to Forest. They did what was necessary to stay up in the Prem and build on from that. Like, I think they got promoted and they replaced 22 of their players. And even on the topic of Steve Cooper, if Leicester kept Steve Cooper, I reckon they'd be closer to Wolves in the relegation fight than they currently are.
I agree with you. I completely agree with you, bro. That manager change has completely changed the fortunes of fortunes of Nottingham Forest. I think Forest fans have a lot to look forward to, and they really should be going for the FA Cup this year. I genuinely think Nottingham Forest need to be going for the FA Cup this year because, like Prime said earlier, right? He said that taking trophies seriously should be the aim of sport, and 100%. Forest are another team that if you want to get back to the top, if they want to get back to winning top flight titles, or maybe at least competing in the top flight again with the likes of United City. I don't want to mention United right now because we're not in the best, but I'm talking about if you want to get back into elite status football, like in terms of like winning with United City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, right? And even you could add Newcastle now with their Carabao Cup win yesterday. They need to try and target that. They need to try and target that FA Cup. Them and Aston Villa.
It's an open this year.
Do you know what will be a proper old school game? Forest Aston Villa FA Cup final. I would love that. I would love that. That would be such a good final to watch. I think two historical teams going at it, and bringing back the old days of football. I think I would love nothing more than to see Forest Aston Villa FA Cup final. But right now, I think Nottingham Forest on the right track. It's about if they get Europe next year, recruitment. I always say recruitment is the most important thing going into an off season. In the off season, it's always you need to try and recruit. And Forest, I think you can trust the owners to recruit players. They've got they brought in Chris Wood, who was at Burnley. Who was it last? He was at Burnley last? Was he at Leicester last? I can't remember
It
where
was
he
at
was.
Newcastle, actually.
Or he was at Newcastle. There you go then. Nick Pope, who was at Newcastle. Sorry, not Nick Pope. Sorry, my bad.
Burnley.
Burnley, right? It just like I said, it's recruitment, bro. It's recruitment, and they got Milenkovic. They got, what's his name again? Was it Murillo as well?
That's it. Yeah.
They got Olaena, bro. Forest recruitment has just been the reason why they've just gone from competing with. They were in a relegation battle last year, and they had the points deduction as well. Remember,
10 points.
They had the points deduction, and then bro, they managed to survive, and now look at where they are. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but Prime. What are your thoughts on Nottingham Forest this season, and how their future might look like under the ownership, and because obviously they just beat Ipswich, they're in a really good position to get Champions League football. I think they should be targeting for I think they should be going for the FA Cup. I think that's the most important. And I brought up what you said earlier as well, like when you said about their the aim of football is to win, right? These clubs should be targeting the cups, like Aston Villa, Forest should be going for the cups, and to get back to top flight football, like what they were back in the day, they need to go for the cups. But Prime, I want your thoughts on Forest this season as a whole, and how you think they're looking like going forward.
You're
mute, bro.
Yeah, they're having a very good season. They're having a brilliant season. Same with Bournemouth and stuff. I'm just curious to see what happens next season. Is it going to be one of these like one-offs, like we've seen from Sheffield United, and we saw from Burnley when they got promoted and they finished like sixth? Is it just going to be like a one-off, or can they actually build on from this and like sustain it for next season and beyond? But yeah, regardless, like they're doing brilliantly. I don't know if they'll finish top 4. But they're having a brilliant run, and like when I watch the harmony, the vibes from their squad, because I follow Olaena on like Snapchat and stuff, and on the ground, and just the way him, Alanga, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Gibbs White, just the vibes from that squad from them. How brilliantly Chris Wood is performing, And you have Nuno as well. Nuno is a good coach, a very good coach, but Spurs fans didn't want him because he doesn't suit their brand of football and whatever that means for them. But Nuno, what phase is he in? How much has he spent?
I can't remember how much he spent, to be honest. Quite like at least a bit over 100, I think. Slightly over 100.
Hey, Eddie Howe, what phase is he in? How much has he spent?
I think Eddie Howe's in like phase 5, phase 6 now. He's been there for like 6 years, I think. Almost 6 years, I think. I can't remember how many years. 5 years, 6 years, almost 5 years.
3 years. 2022.
Nah, he was appointed
late
in
2021.
2021, I think.
This is his third full season, Eddie Howe.
Okay.
Because first full season, final with United lost. Last season, should have got to the Carabao Cup final. If Trippier didn't just assist Mudryk. And this year, another final. So, and this is what I was telling Steve last season. Like, you could have got to back-to-back finals with him. Like, Eddie Howe is a people don't speak about Eddie Howe, how good this guy is. He's a very, very good coach. And England, if you wanted an English manager, you could have went for Eddie Howe, but instead, you went and got Tuchel, and he's also going to fail. So,
why do you think Nuno?
Why do you think he's going to fail?
Sorry, go on, Josh.
Because it's England.
Because it's England, fair enough. My logic was if Southgate can get us to 2 European Championship finals, then Tuchel is more than good enough to get over the line. But yeah, if it's England's, that's heritage. I understand.
Everyone
I am
always
more
says-
optimistic with Tuchel than I ever was. So.
I know, and everyone always says, "Well, if Southgate can get us to 2 finals, then Tuchel can get you over the line to win." Sure, but we also saw the Spain manager, like he's not anything brilliant because he was managing under 21s not too long ago, and he won the Euros. The guy that Santos, who won Portugal the Euros like in 2016, he's nothing special either. The guy that won Argentina the World Cup and the 2 Copa Americas, he's nothing special. Yeah, he's nothing special either. So for international football to win, you don't necessarily need like a special manager per se. You just need a good coach who's able to get like the best out of what he has and create a good squad harmony. You have Deschamps. Deschamps is not better than Southgate. No one can tell me anything. No, and I said this for years. No one can tell me anything. Deschamps better than Southgate. But what he has is X Factor. England don't have X Factor.
I've been saying it since the 2016 Euros, bro. That Deschamps is
he's a fraud. But England don't. But the thing is, right? Deschamps has Mbappe. He had Pogba. People who will bail him out in big moments. That World Cup final was Mbappe.
Yeah, Deschamps.
Don't forget that. I wasn't Deschamps. Now I look at Tuchel, or not Tuchel. I look at Southgate. You go 1-0 up in the Euros 2021 at home. Italy didn't do anything for an hour. That equalizer, the set piece goal. If John Stones was more aware and defended it, England win 1-0. No one's complaining. England win 1-0. You have the fast final against Spain, the Euros. Fine, England didn't necessarily start off well, but you equalize, you're back in the game. Your big game players have to step up. I get people want to blame Southgate, and he's not great. I understand that, but Deschamps is not great either. Santos is not great. The guy who's won Argentina these trophies, he's not great either. But you have players who step up in big moments, and England don't have that. Because Tuchel, I know Tuchel. I've had him at Chelsea. We lost 3 domestic finals under Tuchel. Do you know why? It wasn't because of his tactics, because we outclassed England. We outclassed Liverpool in the FA Cup, in the Carabao and FA Cup final. But we had Havertz and Mount up top. We had bums who didn't finish their chances. Now I look at England. Kane doesn't turn up in big moments. I look at people like Stones and Maguire, all these England players that people rate. Foden, people love. He doesn't turn up in big moments. This is your England team. So unless you allow Southgate to just be Southgate and bring in a Dan Burn and a Henderson and don't complain, which people will complain, I don't see him winning. And if he doesn't at least get to a final, it's failure. Automatically, it's failure. That's why I'm saying he'll fail, because he's not getting to a final.
No, but the thing is,
I'm more optimistic, man. I can't lie.
I understand why you're optimistic, and Tuchel's my guy. I love Tuchel, but because I know what England are, that's why I'm saying he will fail. I know what England are.
In the 2016 Euros, though, like he should have brought Lacazette over Gignac. I don't understand why he didn't bring Lacazette, especially with the Benzema incident as well. You guys remember the Benzema incident that year? Mm-hmm. He should have brought Lacazette. Lacazette was up and coming French striker that year.
And then you have in 2018 win the World Cup. Fairs, but let's be real. You only win that World Cup because of like your big X factor. Which again, I'm not criticizing.
It was a very weak World Cup.
In big moments, you need your best players to step up. That's not me criticizing Deschamps. It's not me criticizing the Scolioni, the Argentina manager. It's not me criticizing Santos, the Portugal manager when they won the Euros. I'm not criticizing them. All I'm saying is Southgate getting to 2 finals and like 4 semi-finals. Your big game players for England did not step up, and Southgate got all of the blame. I'm not saying Southgate is blameless, but people blamed everything on Southgate. No one looked at Phil Foden doing fuck all. And people said Foden played out of position on the wing. Well, you know what?
He's a wanker, man.
Make you. Mbappe in that last World Cup final was playing as a striker, and he's not a striker, and he scored a hat-trick. So I don't want to hear excuses. For your country, you got to do what's required.
I feel my thing is we've got a serial winner in Tuchel as manager, and our players are serial winners as well. Terms of they all play for Man City and whatnot, and even Trippier and Kane is going to win abroad this year as well. I understand. Well, he's going to win the league most likely.
I get what you mean.
I understand what you mean. The likes of Foden never turns up. Saka never turns up. Sacrilege, I know, but he doesn't turn up in the biggest moments. Obviously,
No, I didn't
Kane as
even
well.
mention Saka. I'm talking about like the people who, for their clubs, are winning numerous trophies. They're like Kane, like Foden. He's not the main guy at City, and we're seeing it now this season. Him not doing it. He's clearly not the main guy at City. I look at Stones. I rate John Stones. I think he's world class, but he doesn't stay fit enough. Maguire is one of England's best centre backs, whether people like it or not, and people will say Maguire's a bum.
In a back three. No,
yeah, but England mainly play a back three, and he's one of England's best centre back. And people will say Maguire's a bum. You have Kane, who's England's best striker, and he's not won anything. He's your captain. Like, this is England. People need to and as good as England, the players you have are, there are other nations that are just better than you. France are better. Argentina are better. Brazil, if England and Brazil play in a one-off game, I trust Brazil to get through because they have the X factors. Vinny, Rodrigo. Spain, if you play in a one-off game, I expect them to get past because you have Yamal, you have X factor. England don't have I don't trust England in one-off games. I don't trust them in a semi-final. I don't trust them in the final.
France as well. I trust France as well over England.
And this is a France team, by the way, that people are saying they're not that good because when you compare them to 2018. England, this France side is not that good compared to 2018, but I still expect France to go through. Germany in a one-off, debatable, but they have Wirtz, Musiala. So this is why I look at England. Like, England fans need to realize what you actually are. The best player from Man City is Rodri, who's Spanish. The best player from Man United is Diallo.
Yeah.
The best player for Chelsea is Caicedo. So he's not even English. Arsenal, the best player is, fair enough, it's Saka. Fair. But again, I look at Liverpool, Gabriel. Okay, if you want to argue Gabriel, fine. So we're debating. Gabriel's not English. I look at Liverpool, their best player, Salah. He's Egyptian. Like, the top English players, they're not even the best players at their club. But arguably it's Saka. But even still, you said Gabriel. Like, this is what we're doing. And again, when we go back 20 years ago to England's golden generation, or 25 years ago, whatever it was.
Who did you say was City's best player again? Who did you say was City's best
player? Rodri.
Rodri, fair enough.
And when I go back even to England's golden generation, right? Lampard, Rooney, Gerrard, Scholes, all these guys. Well, you had England's golden generation, but you also had Brazil. You had R9 and Ronaldinho. You had it was Spain starting their golden generation with Xavi and Iniesta and them, man. You had Germany, who even though they didn't win, they were still amazing. Portugal
France
was still amazing. France, exactly. So you have better sides around. That's my point. And even now, as good as England are on paper, you have better sides. You have better sides around. Italy, I expect Italy to stink it out against England because that's just what Italy do.
That's what they do.
They all have the mentality and a philosophy and a way of just getting over the line. England, you don't have a philosophy. Your philosophy of 4-4-2, we're just gonna play our way. You don't play that way anymore.
No, but for me, there's such a thing as philosophies when you play for your country. It's just about battling, going out and fighting.
No, but there is a philosophy for your country. There is. Spain have played the same way for years, bro.
For a long time, yes.
Even now, they have P&P, but they still play the same way. I still have possession.
Brazil had the Joga Bonito style, they had the skillful style.
They still have possession. Italy, fine, they don't have the same quality they had with like Pirlo and them, man, but they still play the same way. Defensive, we're gonna stifle you. Holland still play the same way. Like, everyone has their philosophies, but England don't, and you're seeing it.
Bottle jobs ever though, man.
I know, but England are bottle jobs.
Not true. But the Netherlands have bottled so much, man, over the years. Like that World Cup final, bro. They could have won that. They could have won that.
Holland had a better chance of winning that final than England had winning their last two.
I think so.
No, I don't know.
Holland having a better chance of Spain better chance
Yeah.
against that. I actually
You
think
know,
so.
Holland had a better chance to win that final
I
than
think
England
so,
have had the
because
last two.
Bro, Snyder coming off the back of a treble that year. You had Van der Sar was the goalkeeper that year as well.
Snyder should have won. Snyder should have won that Ballon d'Or as well, man.
I think it was.
Should've done that.
I actually think Iniesta should have won it because
Really?
yeah,
I think it should have been Schneider. He was the best player in the world that year.
I think if Schneider won the World Cup, 100% that's nailed on. 100% nailed on. That would have been the greatest year. But then again, Julian Alvarez won the treble and the World Cup. Same.
I just look at England and Tuchel like, will you do what's required, regardless of what the media say? Like, in terms of getting the balance right for the team to win, would you do that as opposed to people saying, "Oh well, why aren't you playing Saka, or why aren't you playing Foden, or why aren't you playing this guy?" Forget the pressure. Do what's required. Because Southgate was trying to do that. He was trying to play his way, regardless of people saying, "Oh, play Foden," or "Why are you not playing Saka?" or "Why are you not playing this guy or Bellingham?" He wanted to try and play his way. Last tournament, he just tried to make everyone happy, and it still didn't work. England still didn't win. With Tuchel, if he doesn't win, regardless, they're going to blame him because he's German. Hey,
Fair enough.
and I'll be there, man. I'll be there, man. People can say Ireland don't win anything. Well, we both don't win, so.
Fair enough.
England are just a mayonnaise Ireland, man.
Hey, Thailand don't win anything either, man. They just win they just win the Kings.
No, I understand.
We're all in the same. We're all in the same boat.
Yeah, bro.
No,
Thailand,
it's just
let me every single time, man. But it is what it is.
no, it's just heartbreaking. I mean, Spain. We knew all tournament they were going to win it after getting past Germany. Like we were playing shite all tournament. Italy was heartbreaking, obviously, because it was penalties. We did go 1-0 up after 2 minutes, and obviously Saka missed the decisive penalty. So as an Arsenal fan, it hurt even more. I think that's the last time I ever cried at a football game. England's losing the Euros, but against Italy, that was harsh, man. But yeah, I understand what you mean. When it matters most, too many players hide. I think Luffy said earlier, only Bellingham turns up for England when it matters most. But got us through against Serbia, helped us against Slovakia, got the assist for Palmer in the final. Everyone else, they don't seem to have the minerals for it.
But then even then, do you guys not think that 2018 World Cup run, right? That 2018 World Cup was very, very weak.
That was a fumble, man. We should have got to the final. Then again, we shouldn't have because Croatia were better than us, despite going to extra time in their previous two knockout rounds.
But that World Cup was very, very weak, in my opinion. If you actually look at the teams that actually, like, for example, like that Uruguay team, right? That was a team that did not look like even getting past quarterfinals. You know, go look at the England. I'm not saying England didn't deserve to get there. But go look at the England run. Like the teams they played, they didn't play a tough team up until
lost to Belgium on purpose.
Yeah, but Belgium were always. If you ask me between Belgium's golden era, right, the golden boy era, right, like because you know they had Belgium, Kevin De Bruyne, Hazard, they had that the two center backs, Alderweireld and Vertonghen, Courtois in goal. You know they had a good strike, Lukaku. You know,
Carrasco.
That team's better than England, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But what do you think of that World Cup? Sorry, continue what you're saying.
Oh no. About that World Cup, obviously, with the path that we had, we should have got there. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, Croatia went to extra time for both. I think they went to penalties for their previous two knockout
Croatia went
rounds.
to penalties against Russia. Russia went to penalties against Spain. Bro, Russia beat Spain on penalties.
Yeah, but we probably should have gotten to the final, but Croatia were the better team, and we would have got fucked by France in the final anyway. So kind of glad we didn't have that. Don't want any Joan of Arc repeats, you know.
I don't think that World Cup was just not the strongest World Cup, if you ask me. Like the pool of players, I think Portugal should have made at least a semi-final.
I feel like whoever won the semi-final between France and Belgium would have won the World Cup anyway.
Fair enough.
That was
that-
essentially the final for me because I don't think either Croatia or England would have beaten those two in the final.
That Argentina team was very underwhelming. Even that Portugal team should have done much better than just the quarters. Because Argentina got knocked out by France in the round of 16. Who else? Portugal got knocked out by Uruguay. Spain got knocked out by Russia. So like the big name teams. If you ask me like the big name teams, which is France, England, you could probably say Croatia just for that year alone. But even then, like it was not the strongest of World Cups if you ask me.
Fair enough.
That 2018 World Cup, if you ask me, it was a good World Cup.
It wasn't the strongest of World Cups. That's the World Cup though that Man United fans brag because Pogba won.
I didn't brag. I didn't say anything.
So we were saying Pogba won a fraud World Cup.
I think the Netherlands and Italy weren't even in the World Cup 2018.
Bro, Italy haven't made 2 World Cups in a row now.
No, I'm joking.
And England let them win the Euros.
Fuck off. Yeah, Matt. That was a fumble and a half. That was heartbreaking. You two probably got a good kick out of it. So.
Bro, I had two really good World Cup finals. Not World Cup finals. 2 really good Euro finals. That was unbelievable. That Spain won, right? And even
we were always losing against Spain. Italy was a real hard thing.
Danny Carvajal, right, won the Champions League, La Liga, and the Euros that same year. At least he should have been top 5, man.
Podium. They scored in the Champions League final as well.
Exactly, bro. If you ask me from an individual standpoint, that's arguably his best ever season. By a country mile. That's probably his best ever season in football. Because he's never won the World Cup with Spain. Sorry, go on.
No, carry on.
I was just saying he's never won the World Cup with Spain. He's never won the treble.
Who are you talking about?
Danny Carvajal. That was the last season that he had. The league, right? The Champions League he even scored in the final. And the Euros he won in the same season. Yeah. Like that's arguably his best ever individual season in football.
But defensive players, don't really get Ballon d'Ors and stuff like that. They don't get the recognition they deserve.
Because if we're gonna go based off of individual awards, it's not individual awards. If we're gonna go based off of awards, right? Danny Carvajal, forget it. Because even then, I think for me, the Ballon d'Or's lost its name ever since the Ballon d'Or lost its name since Lewandowski got snubbed at the Ballon d'Or. That was like the day I felt like football, the Ballon d'Or lost its prestige, completely lost its prestige. Because I'm sorry, the fact that you could continue doing football, the fact that football could continue, the fact that you had all those games during lockdown, during COVID, right? Bundesliga happened.
The only reason they did that is because Messi wasn't going to win it that year.
Genuinely.
They've been robbing Ballon d'Ors for Messi. People don't speak on it.
2021 as well. I think Lewandowski should have won.
I thought that as well. I thought Rodri had more of a case of winning it in 2023.
Exactly.
Because he won the treble.
Well, he scored in the final.
He won the treble. He won the Nations League. I mean, what more do you want? But because Messi won the World Cup, that's nonsense.
Bro. Then by this logic, Manuel Neuer should have won in 2014 then.
He'll probably be in the top 30 this year because he won the World Cup in 2022. So.
Broski. But he is in the top. He was in the top 30. Leo Messi.
Since when was an Inter Miami player in the top 30 of the Ballon d'Or?
But Ronaldo scoring the most goals in 2023 didn't get it.
Both goats are washed, man.
It's not washed. It's just a lack of. It's just a level of bias, really, and it's just. I think for me, like it's just like I said earlier, the Ballon d'Or lost its prestige ever since that World Cup year. I think that not just the World Cup year, but 2020. Because how do you not give Lewandowski his Ballon d'Or? How? Like, he was top scorer of that year, treble winner. What else?
Yeah. I mean,
I guess
people talk about Henry getting robbed of it, but Lewandowski actually did. He actually did. I mean, Henry, people talk about 03, but he only won the FA Cup. He bottled the league and he got knocked out of the second Champions League group phase. So he was never going to win it, realistically. I mean, Lewandowski probably should have won it twice in a row. I swear he won the treble with Bayern, if I'm not mistaken, 2020.
Treble with Bayern in 2020 during COVID year, right? Then didn't even give him the Ballon d'Or. They were okay to do a FIFA best men's best fucking I can't even talk. Best men's player, right? They were okay to do it that year, but they weren't okay to do the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, but the FIFA men's and the Ballon d'Or is different. Like,
I know
the Ballon d'Or is run by it's a French organization,
France Football.
Yeah.
But now they've they've co-joined with UEFA now. I think Ballon d'Or. I think it's now to do. I think now it's now linked with UEFA because I think they're gonna give it now when the season starts. I think Rodri won it. It was in October. He won it in October. Ballon d'Or.
Was it November?
October, November. I think around October, November, or around that time. But then
Fabrizio leaks it about 3 weeks before the ceremony.
And that's another issue I have about fucking journalism because, because back then, right? I used to go into I used to watch Ballon d'Or ceremonies back then. I was actually able to watch it. I watched Ronaldo win 2 Ballon d'Ors.
Sorry.
Carry on, Ackman.
Sorry.
I watched Ronaldo win 4 Ballon d'Ors.
Yeah.
2 of them with France Football. 2 of them with FIFA. But then I'm just wondering, how do you leak the winners? Fabrizio literally tweeted, Vinicius Jr. is not going to the Ballon d'Or ceremony. That just pretty much gave away the answer because, all of us were suspecting Vinny was going to win it. We all suspected that Vinny was going to win the Ballon d'Or. I said Vinny's going to win it for sure. He has to win it, bro. There's no way he doesn't win it. Vinicius Jr. won the Champions League and the he's even another one who scored in the final. And he also won the league, right? I know he didn't perform in Copa America, but then by that logic, you give it to Messi then, because Messi performed Copa America and he won the. But then he scored 1 goal the whole tournament.
It's the same with transfer news in general. I mean, can you ever imagine the hysteria around Arsenal signing Mesut Ozil ever again? With Fabrizio tweeting it
I used to open Sky Sports, and the day I opened Sky Sports, Van Persie was a United player. I opened Sky Sports one day. Memphis Depay signed for Manchester United. I didn't even hear anything about it.
I remember going on Sky Sports every day hoping Benzema signed for us in the summer of 2015.
I remember the day I woke up in the morning, right, and I went to school. My friend who was an Arsenal fan was saying Arsenal signed Mesut Ozil. I'm like, what? I didn't even know. Because I didn't know what happened. We signed Fellaini that day, right? Who by the way served us well. He won 3 really good trophies, right? And dipped, but even then, back in the day, you weren't getting leaks of what was gonna. It's just a PR around football. It's just gone to another level, isn't it? It's just a PR that's gotten to another level. We used to not know who was going to win the Ballon d'Or. We all used to suspect it.
Moral of the story is people don't like spoilers. I mean, we're never going to see an Ozil hysteric ever again, are we? We're never going to see Odin Wingy ever again.
Bro, remember? Not even that. Sol Campbell, the way that transfer happened.
Oh, mate.
He came out and said he's not leaving, and the next day he was in an Arsenal shirt. bro, that can never happen now.
Ronaldo, he said
No,
he's
I'll tell you why. Because they were going to host a press conference, and because we signed Richard Wright, all the journalists there thought that they were going to be asking questions about Richard Wright. But then Sol Campbell walks in. No one knew at all. It was insane.
Bro,
Obviously, I wasn't there to see.
That could not happen now, though.
Never happen again. What were you saying, Akevin?
No, I was just saying that Ronaldo also said that he was staying at United 1 year and then he left to Real Madrid because it's just the power of football transfers. Like back in the day, it was all surprises. Now with social media being a massive figure in football, it's becoming a. It's not, I wouldn't say an issue, but I'm saying it's like the PR around it. Like footballers, agents. You have. I'm not saying I'm not against what Fabrizio Romano does for obviously his job. But what I am against is, spoiling. You're spoiling the biggest news for transfers. You know what I'm saying? Now, Prime's on a mad one today.
What were you saying? What were you saying?
I bet you he's probably still packing players or something on Ultimate Team, isn't it?
Nah, I just went 1-0 up, man. I went 1-0 up 10 minutes ago. Let's go, man.
Nah, but I was just saying, like, football transfers. It's gotten to another level, isn't it, Josh?
Well, yeah, of course it has. I mean, I don't think I don't know how we're going to evolve from that. I think it's always going to be spoiled now, isn't it? I mean, the random spontaneous news has been replaced by here we go. And while that does give immense dopamine, at the end of the day, like I keep saying, you're never going to see Arsenal sign Mesut Ozil on the 11th hour. Never going to see that ever again.
Then you have people who want to be a Fabrizio Romano, and you have these bullshit ITKs. I remember
ITKs have been a thing for ages, Prime, honestly.
I know, but like they're annoying. I remember 2021 summer when
lockdown
Chelsea were trying to sign Haaland, we ended up signing Newcastle. The amount of like people ITKs talking about, oh, we're signing Haaland. Oh, Haaland's agent was spotted in a checkered Hawaii shirt, and it's the same shirt he won when he was at this spot in London. That is, 9 miles away from the bridge. Number 9, Haaland. Oh, he's coming to Chelsea.
Mate, Arsenal fans are even worse. We are like MI6 spies when it comes to players potentially coming in. I remember this edited picture of Grealish doing the rounds. It was right outside. It was on the Emirates tunnel, holding up the yellow kit, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, Grealish has signed for us. This is amazing. How have we kept this under wraps?" And I remember when I first started getting into football, the first proper transfer window was 2015, like with Benzema and whatnot. And the amount of people saying, "Oh, Benzema, I mean, Arsene Wenger doesn't know whether he's doing the medical, and we're penny pinching with Real Madrid." We were never close to signing him. Our only summer signing was Petr Cech, for fuck's sake. ITKs, man. You got to love them. Trying to make a name for themselves. You got to respect the grind.
Well, we'll wrap up in a short bit. But make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel. But I think last but not least, I'll just talk about United really quickly. 2 good wins in the past week. I think we scored 7 goals.
Yeah.
Good performances. I think against 2 not 2 really great sides, but do you know what it is? It's 2 wins that I'll take because we've progressed to the Europa League quarterfinals. That's what I wanted, and obviously Premier League, not much expectation, but to get 3 points. Leicester are just a really, really poor side, bro. They're just a really, really poor side, and unfortunately, they're gonna get relegated this year. And I don't want to see them get relegated because obviously my ties with Leicester, but I don't want to see no pun intended, by the way, no ties with Leicester, but yeah, we will. Unfortunately, they're gonna get relegated, but I don't know, man. I think like poor recruitment. It's the recruitment again. It's just everything else around it, I guess.
I said earlier about sacking Steve Cooper. I reckon he would put up a better fight with that Leicester squad than Ruben Nistelrooy.
I think that then you know what, what's funny? Guess who their biggest rivals are? Nottingham Forest, and they're going for a reject of Nottingham Forest. They're going for a Nottingham Forest reject, bro. Like, come on, man. There was so many managers out there available. Well, at least not so many, but there were some managers out there available that could do them a good job. And for me, it's just I just don't see Leicester staying up this year. And the way things are going with them, it might take them a while to come back up again. They have Jamie Vardy's going to retire. They've got Kanu, who's a good player. They've got
Carry on.
no, I was just saying, like they have some decent players, Mavididi, but at the same time, they've not recruited around these players, and they're about to get relegated. It's just sad to see. But as with United, look, no expectation in the Prem. Just got to do well in the Europa League, and 2 good performances, like I said, back to back, really good, solid performances. 3 points.
Happy for Hoyland?
No, you can't be 75. But you can't be 75 million and going 22 games out of a goal, man. I'm sorry.
Wait. You're not happy that your striker scored?
He scored his first goal in 22 games, my friend.
So he scored.
Yes, but that's not good enough for a 75.
Yeah, I didn't say it's good enough, but like you should be happy he scored. But if he didn't score, then you'd be saying, "Oh, it's 20 games without a goal." Or he scored. Be happy, bro.
I'm happy United got 3 points. I am happy for anyone who takes us to 15th place, but it is what it is. It's all good. 3 points.
I'm happy for anyone that takes you to 15th place, but you're happy for Diallo when he scores and he's taking you to 15th place.
Diallo won us the FA Cup. He won us the FA Cup.
And Garnacho also won you the FA Cup.
So did Hoyland. He was in the squad.
Gavardio.
Garnacho won you the FA Cup. Garnacho scored in the final.
Gavardio won us the FA Cup.
But you just said Diallo won you the FA Cup. So which is it?
Yeah, but Diallo won. Yeah, but Diallo won the ball, and he what do you call? He went up the other end to score.
Yeah, okay, and Garnacho also scored.
Yeah, but Gavardio handed the ball to him. That's why.
Okay, yeah, but a goal is a goal.
A goal is a goal, but at the same time, I can't be happy for anyone who's going on a long.
I mean, Diallo doesn't score a hat trick if it wasn't for Southampton giving him the ball.
Ericsson played a really good ball to him.
Okay, but he still gave him the
Ramsdale did
ball.
as well.
So what are we doing?
No, I'm just trying to say that you can't be this expensive, right? And going on a 22 game goal scoring drought, like it's not good enough.
I know. I didn't say that's good. I didn't say that's good, but he scored. So like, at least.
Am I happy for my players? Look,
you should be happy that he at least scored. I didn't say it's good enough, but at least be happy that he at least scored. Like Josh doesn't like. I'm assuming Josh doesn't rate Marino, right?
No.
But in this situation they're in right now, if he scored against Chelsea, you're happy. You won the game. You move on.
Yeah, because he beat Chelsea.
Exactly. And yet Chelsea's a rival to Arsenal.
I think it's Leicester.
United are a rival to Leicester. Be happy.
They're not rivals to Leicester, man.
You guys are rivals to Leicester, man.
No.
This is ridiculous.
No. Don't do this. Don't do this.
Hey, listen, you're in 15th, bro. Relax.
We're not.
You are in
14th now.
Oh, sorry. You're 13th.
Dizzying heights.
Are you winning Europa?
Huh?
Oh, I reckon they will, man. Like you'll fluke that probably.
What, Europa?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you gonna scammer him Europa?
I hope
Scammer
him.
Hey, listen, Bruno Garnacho, man. They'll win you guys Europa.
I don't know, man. We'll see. Got to take it game by game. Do I think we can? We should try it because it's the only competition we're left in. It's the only thing we can go for, I guess. If we don't win the Europa, then I have horrible thoughts of next season because we need to win Europa League. In my opinion, we need to win it. If you want to get Champions League and you want to get the better players, gotta win Europa. So I think we have to try and win it this year. But at the same time, though, do I trust this team? I'm not so much. So it's gonna be tough.
It'll be better qualifying for the Champions League through winning a trophy than just finishing in position.
I can't
That
lie
is
though.
impressive.
I say the last 3 games, including the Ipswich game, right, that recently happened. I can't remember who you played after Ipswich. It was the FA Cup, right?
It was
It was the
Everton. Oh, it might
It
be
was-
Fulham.
It was the Ipswich game.
Everton, wasn't it? 2-2.
It's the Ipswich game, right? And the last 3 games, in my opinion, I thought United have looked a lot better in games. I thought we've looked a lot better, especially against Sociedad. Even though Sociedad,
Hey. Oh, Sociedad, perfect. That's on to what I want to talk about. United
Yeah.
hype. Speak on world class Bruno, man.
Bruno Fernandes has really stepped up in the last month.
Hat trick against in the last month. Hey, some United fans will say he's been doing this all along, but you've just been blinded by it.
Where would you be without him, Maccabee?
Yeah, facts, man.
Where are
You'd
we
be,
with him?
hey, you'd be bottom of the table. Hey,
But where are we
and
with
you
him?
you definitely have no chance of winning Europa.
Okay, I will say this though. I'll give credit where it's due. I think
He has stepped up.
has definitely been in really good form the last month. I think he's probably been one of our best players in the last month. But at the same time, he's got to continue this. He's got to continue this run of form. Now we have how many games left of the season in the league? Well, like what?
9.
We played 29 games left, and including if we do get through in the Europa League. As things stand, we have 11 games left of the season. Right, we've got to go on a good run now of games. And we got to use the league to build confidence, especially in momentum as well. Yeah. No, that's all we have to say. I mean, just continue to get run of form. I guess when you come back from the international break, we got a tough away game against Forest. I don't see us winning that game. Then we have City at home. That's gonna be another tough game, and then I think Europa League right afterwards. So yeah, and then Newcastle straight after. So it's not gonna be an easy run, man, of games. It's gonna be a hella tough run of games that we have after the international break. So I don't see us, winning many games, but I hope we do win Europa. I hope we do. If we do, then
You're winning Europa.
you think we will?
Yeah, just for that troops clip, you ain't winning Europa.
Just that troops clip.
I need you guys to finish 15th and not win Europa, man.
Or win Europa. You want us to win Europa, or you don't want us to win Europa?
No, I need you guys to finish 15th and not win Europa for that troops clip.
Okay.
It's gonna go viral, so I need that. Or hey, you win Europa and Bruno and Hoyle and Garnacho ball out, man, and you end up keeping them. I'm there for that as well.
Listen, I'm all about
Take the wins with the losses, man.
I'm all about winning trophies, and I want my players to improve.
All about winning trophies, but when Garnacho's winning you the trophy, you're not going to count it. I hear it, man.
I can't.
You're picking and choosing, man. I hear it. Fine.
Listen, I don't rate so many of my players. Yeah, obviously, I give props where it's due.
But you rate Ahmad, and he's got you to 15th. Okay.
Ahmad didn't get us to 15th. It's the
Ahmad's in the squad, and he played a part in getting you to 15th. But okay.
It's the system that got us to 15th.
Oh, it's a system. But when it's Bruno, he's caused you to get 15th. Okay.
I don't think we've performed well at all this year, anyways, in general. So of course, I can't really give like credit to most players, anyways. It's hard for me to praise anyone. Well,
not really. I can praise players.
I can only give praise if we're in a better position than this. I don't see us, because I wanted to win the FA. I wanted to win the League Cup as well.
I think we all did, man.
Oh, you want to win the league? You won the League Cup 2 years ago, bro.
I wanted to win it again this year.
Why?
I wanted to win the FA Cup, bro. I wanted to win the FA Cup, especially knocking out Josh. Yeah. Especially knocking out Arsenal, right? I wanted to win this FA Cup so badly because, bro, imagine beating Arsenal to winning number 14 to equal Arsenal.
But United are still in the FA Cup, no?
No, we're out. We lost to Fulham.
Oh, but the way you guys celebrated after beating Arsenal on pens, I thought you guys had won the FA Cup.
Yeah, Zertsky, yeah.
That's what I mean. I wanted to continue winning, bro. and that's what happened. We lost on penalty, and we didn't bury our chances against Fulham. And yeah, we got done. But hey,
we're in a similar position. Like you were talking about, like we just need to pluck away, make sure we finish in the top 5. And then obviously we've got Real Madrid, which I'm not looking forward to. I'll probably have a few pints watching it, so I get a bit of enjoyment out of it. But yeah, if we somehow manage to get through, mate, I'd be celebrating like we actually won something because, yeah, I'm shameless like that. And I need to find happiness anywhere because I don't think we're winning.
Will Havertz and Saka be back?
No, Havertz is out for the season. Saka will probably be rushed back for the first leg.
Havertz is out for the season. Oof. No Havertz
I'm
at the
telling you
Burnley.
that he's the only one with minerals in this team.
Havertz knows what it's like to beat Real Madrid, bro. He's gonna have to Bernabeu.
He'll coach us through the Bernabeu.
Yeah. I'm out, and Kobe could potentially return for the end of the season, but we'll see. I think Kobe will come back in 2 weeks. I think. But I don't know, man.
Rushing Kobe back for the Conference League, man.
Nah, we ain't rushing. We ain't rushing him back.
Anyways, I'm winning my European trophy this season. Just make sure you guys win yours, okay?
Yeah, good luck with that.
Oh yeah, the Champions League. I forgot that.
You know what? I know I'm a Chelsea fan, but if we don't win this Conference League, the smoke rivals will have will be.
Fiorentina to finally win it after like 2 finals lost.
It will be hilarious.
Nah, imagine Real Betis.
I'm just thinking about the Q&A. Oh, it's gonna be biblical, man. Oh, Mud Brothers as well is gonna be horrendous.
It's just the fact that Anthony could win the Europa Conference League with Real Betis.
Hey, that just looks bad on United's part, then.
It does. It looks bad on our part because we didn't give them the good run of games.
Betis win a trophy, Aston Villa win Champions League, Man United don't win Europa. Scary.
Chelsea win conference.
Scary.
Sancho.
How about all 3 of our clubs win our respective European trophies? I'd be more than happy with that.
How about all 3 of our? Nah.
Do you think you signed Sancho? Do you think you signed Sancho?
Probably, yeah. But
because
apparently the price to get out the obligation is like 17 or 18 mil, which is too much.
You might have to pay like a huge penalty though.
Yeah, I know. That's what I just said. It's like 17 or 18 mil, so I'd rather just keep him.
Fair enough. You're signing him for like 20 million anyways, aren't you? Or like 25 million, I think.
25 mil.
Well, I mean, yeah, like I said, just gotta continue the winning form after the international break. But we'll see what happens. Just gotta win our Europa League games and see what we go.
And then Chelsea play Spurs after the national break, so that's a guaranteed win.
Oh yeah, you play Stamford Bridge. Like, is that the first game back after?
Yep, that's a guaranteed win.
We've got Forest away, man. That's gonna be a.
We've got Fulham. Arteta can't coach against Marco Silva.
But you guys are playing at home. Come on, you'll win that game easily.
Bruv, it was the draw against them, which I said will be costly. It ended up being costly as we missed the title by 2 points.
Josh, if United can beat Fulham, surely you can.
I thought you lost to them in the FA Cup.
We beat them. We beat them twice in the Prem.
1-0.
1-0.
Arteta cannot coach against the mid-block. This is why I don't think we'll win the league under him. Same managers drop points.
Bro, I think most teams struggle against mid-block. Most teams struggle against mid-block.
Nah, but it's like it's more than a player thing. It's a coaching thing, because we had. I said last stream we had Saka, Jesus, Havertz, and Martinelli all fit for West Ham at home last season. We still lost. We still couldn't score. It's way beyond a player thing with this manager. He cannot coach against a mid block.
The thing is with Leon, right, is if they come out to attack, right, and they play a high line, it'll suit. Because we play against like teams with high line.
This is what I said against Chelsea. Chelsea won't sit back the way Nottingham Forest or West Ham do. So I was more confident that we'd beat them.
And I wanted us to sit back against Arsenal because I knew if we sit in a mid block, we could exploit. But
exactly, because you know what this manager's like.
Hey, crazy. We don't have all these coaching badges, man.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe. Well, I mean, it's just I can guarantee you that next season Arsenal will go 2 periods in the season where they fail to win 3 Premier League games in a row because it has happened every single time. I mean, I've said this before. Like, we literally repeat the same mistakes. We lost 5-3 to Man United on penalties. A team coached by Ruben Amorim, who had a player sent off. 2 years prior against Sporting, we draw 1-1 against an Amorim team who had Ugarte sent off, and we lose 5-3 on penalties. Just a microcosm of the same mistakes being made season after season.
Oh,
And
okay, so
that doesn't win you league titles.
Oh, AC Milan. That's good. Oh, so let's do this now. Let's predict Arsenal's downfall next year. When it's going to happen? What's going to happen? Let's predict it.
Well, you can look back to the previous 3 seasons, and they'll all be the same. Like,
So
either way, so.
So you're going to lose to West Ham, I'm assuming, again?
Yes, we're going to lose to West Ham. I guarantee you.
You lose to a Villa when it matters.
We're going to drop points against either Everton or Fulham.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's going to be the same stuff, you know?
You might even lose to Spurs next year, who knows?
Hey, we'll go 3 games in a row without winning twice, yeah? And, you know, yeah, it's going to be the same old bollocks. But as long as he's finishing top 4, his job's not going to be in danger.
Arsenal next year, yeah? You guys will beat Liverpool at Anfield comfortably. Because that's the sort of thing. That's the sort of thing you guys will do. Beat Liverpool at Anfield and then lose 2-0 to Fulham. That's the sort of thing you guys will do.
Oh, mate. Oh, I can't. Less said about our record away at Anfield, the better. Less said about our record away at Etihad, the better as well. But,
yeah, but you just back Etihad, so the City are now humble.
We cannot talk about being humble at all, man. No.
They've been humble there.
I'm not in for another Arsenal cook session, so if we can move on with topic, that would be very much appreciated.
Okay, Spurs, Chelsea, we're going to beat them after international break.
Easy. 3-1 Chelsea.
I mean, you said easy, but we're going to... Van de Ven is back, but from injury. Romero's going to be Romero, who knows? Because apparently he wasn't fit, but then he got fit just to go to Argentina for international break. So who knows with him? But we'll beat Spurs.
Possibly. But I think
Sancho. What Sancho turn up in that game as well?
No, he always
might be asking a bit much.
Nah, because Sancho's a Chelsea fan, so well. Then again, I thought he'd turn up against Arsenal because he's a Chelsea fan. So who knows with Sancho?
Do you know what's funny, right? Sancho scored the exact same goal, or very, very similar goal that he scored for Chelsea. He scored for United against Tottenham away. Very, very, very similar goals. If you go look at it, he dribbles the ball inside and he smashes the bottom corner. Very, very similar goals. But except the one at Chelsea was further out, I think.
Prime, can I ask you this? Who do you think Chelsea's main rivals actually are? Like both
are you
in
asking
terms of location?
Me or what Chelsea fans think?
Well,
I personally think
because like Fulham never win anything, but they're your like derby. So, to what extent are they?
Fulham is our derby because of proximity, but because of actual it depends. Like, I don't treat Spurs seriously, in my personal opinion. Arsenal is a rival, yes, but like not in terms of actually challenging and winning things. I would say Man United historically. Like, I treat Man United more seriously from like a competitive standpoint. Even now, as bad as Man United are now, I still don't treat that game lightly. Like, hey Kevin, you've known me for a few years now. Whenever Chelsea play Man United, don't I always say that's going to be a tricky game, and Chelsea fans assume that we'll batter them.
I grew up on the United-Chelsea rivalry. When I started watching football, Chelsea were my title rivals. When I started watching football, you guys were my title rivals, and for 2 years running, I remember that Chicharito 36-second goal very, very well, man. That goal inside 36 seconds, bro, I was a fucking
so for
start.
me, it's I'd say Man United. Yeah, I'd say Man United for me.
Fair enough. But Chelsea fans, what would they think?
It depends who you ask. Some will say Spurs. Some will say United. Some will say Arsenal. Some will say Liverpool. Honestly,
Some
it
will say
depends who
West
you
Ham.
ask.
A few Chelsea fans I know say West Ham as well. So, I don't know.
Like older Chelsea fans.
Bro,
I think older in comparison to us three.
my friend was at a West Ham Chelsea game, yeah.
Well, even Leeds, because they used to have scraps and whatnot in the 70s.
What? How old are the Chelsea fans that think West Ham and Leeds are?
Well, if you're going back to this,
Bro,
I
I still
haven't
think
asked their age, but they are quite old. And like Chelsea and Leeds used to get into proper scraps in the 70s. So
yeah, then that makes sense. Then if they're like of a much older age, then that makes sense. It's fine.
Yeah.
I still hate Leeds, bro. I don't have any connection with any Leeds fans, but
they cost us 2 league titles against you guys.
I don't have a problem. I don't hate Leeds. I know the Chelsea rivalry thing, but me personally, I don't have a problem with that.
Nah,
the same way Spurs, right? Me growing up in Ireland, I didn't hate Spurs. I just view them as a non-entity. The same way I look at West Ham.
The United Leeds rivalry back in the day was crazy though. The Roses Derby. It still is a massive rivalry in terms of like the fan bases and everything. It is, but if you look at the way the fans interact with each other, it's United Arsenal on Twitter, obviously. But for me, my biggest rivals, you already know, is Liverpool. I do not want Liverpool to win the league, but it's gonna happen anyway. So
fair enough.
Gotta get ready for the summer. That's what I gotta do.
Yeah, shut off social media and whatnot.
Because I have Liverpool fans living all around. I play football with Liverpool fans. Fucking Liverpool fans living around me. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done, bro. They're all these are diehard Liverpool fans that live nearby me. So,
Josh, what about you?
This is what I was going to say, because obviously Spurs are the derby, and there's all the history there. But I have always said, like, in terms of London rivalries, surely we have to look at Chelsea as over the last 20 years they have won the trophies that we need to win. So on that basis, surely Chelsea should be the team that we should be hating more, if you know what I mean. In terms of other London clubs, I mean, West Ham are getting a bit annoying over the years, but for West Ham fans, I know they're all chill. I do like West Ham as a club, so I don't really have any animosity with them.
I get why Spurs hate Arsenal. Why do Arsenal hate Spurs?
To be honest, it's just because of proximity, because we invaded, and because I don't know. I don't even know.
No,
it's just because Derby, isn't it?
No, I know, but like, why are they your biggest rival?
Can I say why?
If I say the history, it's because Arsenal finished 5th in the 2nd division before World War One. Spurs finished 2nd, and then I think Arsenal's owner bribed Liverpool's owner into convincing the FA to switch Arsenal and Spurs around, which is why Spurs ended up in the 2nd division after World War One, and Arsenal stayed in the 1st division ever since. And obviously, Arsenal used to be from Woolwich as well.
To get relegated, and they paid. Yeah.
No, we didn't get promoted, but then we ended up getting promoted anyway ahead of Spurs. And then previously, we used to be from Woolwich, but then we moved into North London, which Spurs fans didn't like because it was seen as invading their territory.
South London's the North London thing, right?
So, you guys, and then the whole North London for everything.
Yeah.
So that's why. So that's why Arsenal also hate Spurs then. Okay.
Yeah, because they're like, I don't know, they're trying to hurt our territory. It's more of a little bro thing, in my opinion. But obviously, Arsenal fans from London.
I find it weird though.
Because I've always said for like Arsenal or Spurs fans who are like around my age, or not my age, maybe my age, a bit younger, who were around for when Poch was challenging and stuff, and Battle of the Bridge, etc., etc.
Yeah, they always say Chelsea, though.
Yeah. If you're around that age, you should view Chelsea as just as big, if not a bigger rivalry than Arsenal.
I saw that on Reddit. A lot of Spurs fans, like back in like 2020 and whatnot, considered Chelsea the biggest rivals because we were like wallowing in 8th.
For me, it's Liverpool. It's Liverpool. That's number one, and then Man City.
Obviously, we have Arsenal, Man United as well. I mean, there's not really a rivalry there now, but obviously there's a history between the two clubs in that sense. Mm-hmm. Newcastle recently has become a bit of one because they constantly have our number, but there's no like historic rivalry there. There's many Chelsea and Spurs. I mean, you could talk about Stoke as well with Tony Pulis and Rory Delap long throws, and obviously Man City as well. I can't stand the bastards. So yeah, I guess they're a new age one as well.
rivalry. They're always being.
Man City. The thing is,
Oh
right,
yeah, but
it's because of the Aguero moment. That's when everything changed for me. That's when everything just like fuck
no, it
this.
was for 6-1 because that indicated a power shift in our opinion.
That game for me. I never saw that as like. It was a one-off game for me that time because
but was that 6-1 not the same season City won the league?
It was, but Aguero moment broke my heart even more. Obviously,
Why? Because if that 6-1 doesn't happen, then
bro,
no Aguero moment.
If United only lose 2-1, don't
no
they?
because Prime, mind you, Man City were 2-1 down. They were 2-1 down to QPR, and United's game had already ended. The United game had already ended by then. And I was just waiting anxiously on the score. Then fucking Aguero scored the winning goal.
Did City win it on goal difference, right?
Yeah,
They won on goal difference, but the
goal difference was big
against QPR, and that day was that game broke my heart, man. That was probably the worst day ever as a United fan.
Yeah, but that's my point. If United didn't lose 6-1, then
no, I hear it, but for me, I'll tell you which game lost us the league, and you guys will probably think it's kind of.
No, you said this before. Wigan.
We had never ever lost to Wigan in our entire history. Never lost to Wigan. That was the first time we ever lost to Wigan.
You never dropped points to Wigan until that.
Wait, you've never lost to Wigan in your history?
We never lost to Wigan up until that year. We lost 1-0 and
hey, be careful, Kevin. When Wigan come back to the Prem, be careful.
No. We already lost to them 1-0 that year. That was the game that lost us the league. We lost. That was the game we lost 1-0. Was it Sean Maloney that scored?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Sean Maloney that scored the goal, and then we lost 1-0.
I'd say it was Everton because you were 4-2 up, conceding 4 goals in the midst of a title race.
Yeah,
is like
that
absolutely insane. And you were 4-2 up with 7 minutes to go. I think Everton cost you that more than Wigan did.
Bro, Rio Ferdinand missed an absolute belter in the last minute. We could have scored the goal in the last minute as well. Rio Ferdinand missed a sitter in the last minute. Yeah, but yeah, no, we could go on all day, but I gotta wrap up because I have to go on another show.
Yeah,
make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Let's get up to 155 subs. I think by the end of today. You guys got a YouTube channel. I'll plug yours in the Solid Prime if you want as well. But yeah, I gotta close out. You guys got anything coming up?
No, I'm just on this channel, mate.
And you have your channel coming up soon as well, yeah?
Yeah.
I put yours in the title as well. Prime, you have anything coming up?
Yeah, I'm on Mud Brothers in half an hour. Fuck, and I still need to get Sheik's channel, Mud Brothers, half an hour.
Shout out Sheik every time, man. Make sure you guys sub to Sheik and obviously sub to Prime channel. I think you have something on your channel soon, Prime. Got something on your channel coming up?
No.
But yeah.
Oh fuck! Oh, nah.
But
never mind. Sorry.
Anyways, lads, this has been the Newcastle celebration stream. You know, and let's play the clip one more time, anyways, for all you people out there. Because I couldn't care less. I'll play whatever clip I like. Yeah. This is about me. Yeah. Good night, Liverpool. Yeah, but you will win the Premier League. It's fine.
Can I just say? Go on, man. Go ahead. 2-1 Newcastle. Oh, should
Yeah.
Nice one.
Why are you showing that AI clip?
It's not AI.
I mean, it is AI. I don't remember you saying that on the stream. So.
Come on, Prime. You were there. You're literally staring. Bro, this is you. This is literally you, bro. This is literally you, bro, on the stream.
Nah, that's AI. Man. I don't give you permission to use my likeness, man.
But anyways, we're gonna wrap it up here. Like, share, subscribe. We're out. Prime's on a mad thing. We're out. 3 points United, 3 points Arsenal. Liverpool in the mud. Take care. Peace.
PlayStation.